welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and today it is Talcott Tuesday in my mind and in my day. So blessings, salutations, love, sincerely being just generously shared to you folks who the divine forces, and by your willingness, your choice, you're joining. Thank you sincerely. I friggin' love you. I love this life. I'm having such a day today, and I was just sitting here thinking about my moments, my options. What am I to do? Well, I keep praying prayers for those answers, and the answer I keep getting, it might be the same for you, it might not be, but I think God wants me to be me today, right? Just be a part of the day and have fun with life and accomplish what I can accomplish, and use my time wisely and efficiently. So I've already spent time considering options that I can pursue, and is this the right step? Is it, am I not giving them long enough to follow up again, or whatever? So beyond evaluating my physical options, I've already spent time in prayer and meditation, and it brought me to here, starting early today. And here's the logic for this, right? I'm having a long opening, so blessings, and I love you guys sincerely. For those who enjoy my tone, my patterns of speech, even though I'm long-winded sometimes, even though it seems like I'm not making sense sometimes, for those who understand me, I think you get it. You see what I'm facing here in this Talcottian adventure. And here, I'm doing a longer intro before I even get into the messages of the day and the thumbnail. But today I was considering the facts. I am who I am. I am where I am. The world is what it is. And from where I sit, everything is okay. Could be better, could be worse. I feel amazing, right? And so I'm filled with inspirations, and I'm just sitting here thinking, all right, there's a lot of value to be found from consistency. And I am a man, I respect and honor consistency and dedication to schedule, but man, there's something divine about spontaneity. That's how miracles come forth. They spontaneously emerge. They spontaneously become realized. God is miraculous. So I started thinking about it. I'm starting a few hours early today, to be honest. And I considered others. I know there's other channels similar to mine. I think they respect each other's schedules, and I know people share respect for me, but I don't think I'm stepping on anyone's toes, that's for sure. Hanging out and just being me because I'm in an inspired mood, with some hopefully cool things to share. So then the other part too, it's Talcott Tuesday. I can do another stream later, right? If this one doesn't really go the way that, if it doesn't really flow, or if it's short or long, who knows, man? This is God's game we're playing. I've learned how to give up. But here, We got to learn how to surrender the right way. And these quotes are beautiful, man. When you fight the good fight of faith, it effectively dethrones darkness. Darkness becomes of no consequence to you. None. I can testify to that for myself. So when you fight the good fight of faith, it effectively dethrones darkness. Darkness becomes of no consequence to you. None. We all have some work to do. And I'll include myself. I'll freely admit my issues, but what I've learned from experience, my words with this, and here's where I admit my admission. I think some people get confused by me because I'm long-winded. I include a lot of details. I offer a lot of details in my explanations. But truly, what I'm offering, what I'm trying to share is so simple. It's so simple when you just stop and see the simple. This is an observation from my life experience. And these were thoughts on the greater nation and on the greater world. Those with low standards find themselves surrounded by darkness. Internally, the low standards result in the darkness of denial, in stubbornness, in anger. We've seen many examples of that brought here to this channel. I see you down there, Illumitami. I friggin' love you. You're so right in so many ways, Station 33. I showed Jack that we are to love our enemies, but we must hate God's enemies. And it triggered him into an early show. That's an interesting narrative. I'm going to drop the link in just a minute, and you're welcome. We'll save this, and we'll come back to this, brother. You're welcome to join. Sorry for the... See, I'm about having fun, man. I truly am. I'm all about the love, brothers and sisters. So here, the low standards result in the darkness of denial, stubbornness, anger. And here's the other key to realize. Enablers of darkness, they're easily found, right? We attract each other, the darkness. And if you keep attracting darkness into your life, things will get pretty lonely and bitter. So what I found for myself, truly, raise your own standards. Do what you want to do, but I encourage you, if you want to rest in God's love, raise your own standards of yourself and become the light. Become the light in the darkness. Don't overlook the darkness. Don't ignore the darkness that's around from you. Learn from it. Shine your light into the darkness, because the darkness can be problems, it can be pain, it can be suffering, it can be the poverty that's, down the street from you. Maybe it's the poverty in your own heart. I distracted myself. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to go ahead and drop these links out and welcome. I will welcome and invite folks to join. Now, there's still going to be some order. We're not just going to have an insanity fest up here again today, but I am in a jovial mood. I'm filled with love, because these topics of low standards and they find darkness. Oh yeah, I was having fun with the title today too. Did that go? Yeah. I did drop the link. Something happened there. Thanks to all of you who are joining. Oh, and wonderful. I did unblock Snafu already. And hey, all of you who are joining in, sincerely, blessings and greetings to everyone. I know we're going to have fun today, because this topic, Low standards find darkness, right? Hurt people hurt people. And people unwilling to give up their hurt, well, they enable others who hurt. And we've got a lot of hurt people spreading confusion in this world. But I know that the best way to overcome the confusion is to share understandings through communication, through giving each other just a chance. How you doing, my brother?
Oh, getting ready for the interview of your own family exposing your rape and predator behavior. Are you ready for the interview, Jack? You gonna listen to it? You got me on blocked on StreamYard. You got me blocked in chat. But it's okay. Just getting ready for this big interview. You ready for family, man? You're gonna tell everyone how much of a predator you are.
I know. I can't wait to see what God reveals through what you're doing. But I still don't know.
Reveals is your own family is going to tell everyone you're lying on the internet and you raped a woman and you're a predator.
I still don't know who you're allegedly talking to or when it might be.
Oh, I'll just say chemo. You already know. The first one. Good one. And a family member forward to, depending on certain optics. But
Snafu, you're something with your connection. Your audio is breaking up real bad now. I'm not really even understanding, nor am I really wanting to listen. Okay.
Oh, you're not going to want to listen to your own family predator behaviors?
No, I'm talking about you in the here and now, dude. Right here and now. See, Snafu, you're such an interesting character. You really are. And I'm saying this with care and compassion. I mean, you sent me a text yesterday about one of your videos, and I glanced in. Snafu, you pay attention to what's happening in the greater world. I don't understand why you can't see me as a friend, and you want to see me as all of this crazy crap that's been said. I mean, if you want to be a journalist for real, give me a chance. I got plenty of evidence. I've written out plans and books and all this stuff. And here, I'm excited to see what happens, Snafu. I'm damn excited to see what Chemo might say. I don't know if that was a connection or the spirit or what. The universe lost. I didn't kick him out. Hey, the greater purpose, low standards find darkness. I can say that for myself. My testimony, I share it openly and freely. I mean, and here, Tommy, this is you are such another interesting character, Tommy. We could have so much fun as friends. I'm not talking as much of my beliefs. I'm not suggesting anyone believe anything and to learn to trust anything. Mostly learn how to be comfortable with the life we've been given. This is God's life we're playing, right? We're all playing these characters and everyone's pretending that my problem is worse than their problem. I don't have time for that problem, but I got time to go over here and complain about problems and gossip about other people trying to solve the problems. These YouTube panels are like a bunch of grown fucking children, man. It's like, golly geez, dude. Praise God. Praise God and set yourself free of the darkness. Only you can do that. Only you can invite the light of you to shine for you, through you, for others. Most importantly, we're here to be the light in the darkness, right? The way that most people have been taught, they've been taught what to do and who to hate, right? Children are told what to do, adults are told what to do, and they run around telling the children and each other what to do. It's like, who the fuck are you to tell me what to do, man? Don't you know? Don't you know who I am? I'm a reflection of you. I'm a child of God. Just like Jesus showed us. That's truly the only way we want to live, is with faith. Faith feels good. Faith feels so good that you can convince yourself that you can find a way to end wars. I've grown up quite a bit since my boy saw me. Since my old buddy Chemo spent time with me. And I've grown up a lot the last time we saw each other. I'm pretty sure that's what put him into a rage. He was jealous of the man I was becoming right in front of his eyes. There was no denying that transformation was available because I was that. Chemo is a beautiful man living his life. Snafu can be a beautiful man, and he is living his life. He's chosen to return back to me. Welcome back, Snafu. Okay, maybe not. I'm learning just how to flow. Absolution via suffering. That's an interesting title too. Name. Your journey of transformation toward perfection has been an arduous yet rewarding one. I believe when each of us set out for that goal, to become perfect in your own way, and then expanding your view of perfection. But number one thing to become perfect at it's the one I'm still struggling with, to be honest. The number one thing that we can work to perfect is our compassion. It's our patience. Welcome back, my brother, who likes to test my compassion and my patience.
Well, can you hear me better now?
Slightly, but it's still
Can you
pretty.
hear me better now?
A little, yeah.
Well, I'm prepared for this interview with your family and friends. They got a lot to say about you, and pretty disappointed that you've been lying to the audience this whole time.
Still no facts have ever been shown.
Your family friends that you've been begging to reconnect with are coming on my channel to expose you. That should be pretty clear, obvious optics, buddy.
How should I feel about that?
Well, they're coming to expose you because they don't want you to be lying to unknown people about your predator behaviors, as well as Noel optics. Same with why Chemo knocked you out. We'll go into those details. How he knocked you out because you were inappropriate with his son, apparently through text. And the black guy that you raped the girl with at the college party.
None of that's accurate. So, here.
So you're gonna say right now, Chemo. So you're gonna say Chemo's lying, so I could show him.
You're saying I'm lying right here and now. Stop with your clown show, Snafu. Here, don't judge me.
I kind of believe your family over you.
Be patient. That's all I'm asking you for right now. I'm being patient with you. This is my time, my show. It's Talcott fucking Tuesday, dude. Don't you know? Don't you know, Snafu? Don't you know what you're doing, buddy? You don't. You don't have a fucking clue. Hey, and don't judge me. I don't have a clue when this interview is happening because Snafu won't share any information that has actual value. He just keeps looping in this mind. And Snafu, see, it's not just me. It sounds like you're reporting live from overseas. It really does. I don't know why why you want to waste so much time pretending to be right
Childhood friend
against
of
a
30
man
years,
like.
your family basically, right? Chemo's family, right? Was.
Are you going to investigate the facts of the relationship, like
No, we're
how
gonna bring people you've
frequent?
been begging over years to reconnect them with the audience and members. You know, Paul wants to ask him a few questions, or fucking any of the other audience. You probably won't get to because you
Hey,
know, we're gonna keep you away from them, from victimizing more victims.
hey, Tommy, I agree completely. What Snafu is offering is garbage. It's the saddest garbage. It is the saddest garbage of the Talcottian garbage dump. I will not deny. See, Tommy, you and I agree on so many different things except you and me. Just like Snafu. This is crazy insanity, dude. What are you doing? Do you care about what is true or trying to be right? And who are you trying to be
Well, I
right
did. That's why I reached
for?
out to your family and friends. I wanted to know
To
what the
ask
truth
them
here
what?
was about
To
you.
ask to ask them what?
Well, that's what the interview is going to be. Dude, they've been for 30 years. We're going to go into details about you, not just your rape, but your predatory behavior, but who Jack Talcott is when you lost your mind.
Hey, okay, Snafu, so what? I've not been
So
invited. A
what
matter of
that you
fact,
raped a girl? So what that you.
no. So what? You don't care about what I say. Clearly, you've shown no interest in trying to believe or think differently than you have. Your low standard, Snafu, they've been enabled. And I'll say this here publicly is, yeah, fuck it. Oh, I'm being tested. Do I point out the truth that is disrespectful about someone who I love when allegedly he's joining someone disrespectful to be dishonest? Am I the better man or am I not? I know that I am either way. Fuck it. What's true is true. What's true is about one of my true. Chemo used to be one of my best friends. He's been fighting to keep his low standards for a long time. Just like Snafu, he finds a lot of enemies. Wants to fight a lot of wars. I don't know how people are in such deep denial. Brothers and sisters, regardless about what someone might say about me 33 years ago, despite the things I say today, the evidence is clear, man. I am a man of God. I'm online 7 days a week suggesting people, hey, let's turn to God. Let's bring more of God into our lives. We'll know God is with us when we feel the divine love. And that divine love is available right now. I'm sitting in it. I'm surrounded in it. I feel God's love divinely. I call it life. Each morning, like this morning again, somehow, some way, God allowed me to awaken. And so my awakening to the day means that I'm one with this experience of consciousness. Because I am awake and aware and present, I am conscious. And I know that life just happens moment by moment. And here is a moment I'm grateful for. We've got a bright, shining man in the back. Let me welcome back someone I just met, Isaac. Hey, you're muted. You're muted, brother.
Yeah. I was like, what? Tripping out. It's good, man. Another
Dude,
day.
another day, and we are blessed. And you're a man like me, except you're not. You're
I'm me. I'm Isaac.
right. But
Which, yeah, like back to the vibrational frequency. We're all so different. We have like, millimeter or like not our like minuscule differences in our vibrations probably make a huge change. I believe that when we interact with other people in reality, in person to person, our torus fields interact and actually change our frequency.
I love that you said that. You're reminding me of an earlier thought. See, this is how divinity has been working with me. I still do make a lot of notes and stuff, but I trust that God works the way that God works, and God works perfectly. So if I can trust in God, then everything starts working out perfectly. And you just reminded me of a thought. It had to do with how important it is to have another being, to have someone else to bounce ideas off of as a reflection, a different reflection of us. This is why. Has to do with the fractals and where I was going with the consciousness. By awakening to the day, each of us are a part of the collective consciousness, the collective human consciousness that always was, will always be. And we're tapped into that greater consciousness that's beyond just the limitations of our own mind and memory.
Yeah,
And this,
and I would say,
go
oh,
ahead, please.
I got something. Yeah, I got some shit on my chin. Station 33. Thank you. I love the top, but see, that threw me off. The trolls just don't let you focus.
They
That's their
don't.
goal. I had something. Don't even remember.
Hey, brother, roll with it. And yes, I've been learning this. These damn trolls, they're fun and distracting.
That's their
Um,
main win is they don't let us be productive.
Agents of chaos. It's the devil within us. It's literally God's perfection is shown through us. Once we start observing and seeing the divine creation the way that it is, holy shit. God is beyond our descriptions, but we can only experience it through depths of love and knowledge and wisdom,
Oh, that
experience.
I remember now. So like we were saying, like the perception of out of this world kind of stuff, you get into heart philosophy of like reasoning, it all egotistical, like fleshly related worldly matters kind of go out the window when you realize I'm going to turn my other cheek. I'm going to lay down my life if I have to. I'm going to forgive this person no matter what because that's what God told me. And like that goes out the window with most people's brain, and that breaks the boundaries of the fleshly mind that says I'm going to dominate, I'm going to be the thing, and I'm going to like rule. Like I'm like the flesh and the spirit are at war with each other, and it's just fact.
Brother. Yes. Okay. So, Isaac, I still don't know all of your story, but you are Isaac Spirit Man, right? And we are unified with spirits, and we've got some earthly vessels in the back I'm going to bring up, and let's have some fun today. Let's see where this goes. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, no worries.
All right. Hey, welcome, Lou Bass. I really don't like the impersonation. Not from you, not yet.
How you doing, Jack?
I'm truly blessed. And welcome back, Illumitami.
Isaac, we only have a
Tommy's
short
here.
time because the truth will get you kicked out of this panel. If you are a true follower of Christ and the one true God, you do not want to get hung up encouraging this guy. I'm not a troll. I am called a troll because I'm one of the rare Jesus followers
I see.
actually to
So like
frequent these
what
panels.
are you trying to tell me?
I'm saying if you do truly follow Christianity and the Christ, don't let yourself be under a great delusion with this host. I'm not a troll.
Well,
I'm
like I'm
only
just saying, well, when it comes to
I'm
Christ
framed
and understanding,
I'm
there's a
framed as a
boundless
troll.
love that I understand. So I don't know what you're even going down the path
Right,
of. I
right.
don't
And that's
understand what you're
that's
saying.
why Jack fired up this stream today, because offline I addressed to him, we are to love our
Tommy, that's not. I know you want to believe that my life revolves around you, but that's not actually true. And so we have another version of you who thinks the life revolves around him, but this guy can be a lot of fun and he carries a lot of wisdom that he generously shares. So
Yes, and
let's
I
see
don't.
what we get.
I'm not too like thrown off by it or anything. I'm just saying, as a Christian, I've been called to accept people, forgive them, know that we're broken as humanity in our conscience, and no one's ever going to be perfect. And no matter what level you think that perfection is, like it's not weighed out differently in heaven. Like if you kicked someone when you were 5 and you were thought evil thoughts in your mind, like or you fucking killed someone when you're 20. I don't think there's a huge difference between like the love that Christ has for us. I don't think it's going to change his mind. Like that's
Jack,
weird,
can we
and I know that's
review
weird.
your appearance at King Stevens area last night?
No, why go
I
back to the past?
I
We're right
didn't
here.
go to Stevens last night. You did.
No, there was a guy. There was a Jack Talcott there last night.
Oh, that one. Yeah, no.
Uh,
I glanced in and I saw a little bit, and I found it it's so obvious, Paul. You
what?
showed encouragement and support for those who mock me and oppose me.
Well, I'm one of the
How
ones who mocks you because I think you're
Well,
ridiculous
you're
at times.
here.
What's wrong with
You
that?
waste so much time on one individual when you should get on with your life if you think he's not worth
No,
it.
I'm paid to be here, sir. You're confused. That's
Oh, you're
you.
paid.
You guys are
That's
wasting
you're
your
paid
time
to
here
be a
right now.
troll.
here,
Nice. You're being
Isaac,
enslaved to be
Isaac,
evil. Nice.
Isaac, please,
No, that's part
please,
time. Part time, I'm a troll. Part time, I'm an activist for rights,
yeah,
freedom,
Okay, so you
principles, and
are a
spiritual
paid
faith. I
troll
do
by
what Jack.
you're
please,
a paid. You're
Oh
telling me
man,
you're a
I
paid
thought this
troll
guy
by
was
an individual.
loving. He seems really
I just want
angry
to
and
know. I just
I
upset.
want to know. No, no,
Hey,
no.
I
I just
thought
want to
you were
know.
loving. Hey,
Isaac,
bro, what
One
happened?
second. I got one thing. I got
I
one
thought
thing.
you were Christed and
Oh,
all that while you drink your
I just
wine or whatever that is.
it's beer. One second. I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
another
You
drunkard
you you
drinking
won't let
and
me
telling
talk.
us how
Let
he's
let
Christed.
me
We got a
ask you
dry
one
drunk and a
question.
wet drunk.
One question. One
How
question.
coincidental.
One question.
Dude, you're ridiculous. That's why you found your way here. Another enlightened guy online who has no business in real life is drunk online telling us about Jesus. It's fact.
I interrupted this. I love both of you. I know Paul more and I have a deep admiration. So Isaac, I'm gonna Paul has a way of triggering egos. Okay, so pay
Right.
attention.
That truth usually does.
Okay.
When you live and speak the truth, it triggers people's bullshitting egos.
Yes.
Well,
Absolutely.
Paul, you
I'm just
have a big
confused.
And we
here. If
know, I know,
I'll
sir. I'm
help
trying to help you.
explain.
And Jack, I'm trying to undo your confusion.
I'll help explain. See, Paul, this is where I think Paul and I really, really could help each other. We could help
Right.
interpret what each other is saying.
Totally.
So I know we could. Shit. Oh, Paul does get paid. He's on YouTube and content is content. But this is where Paul and I have had some disagreements and where I actually kind of agree with Isaac here, Paul. We could do better, man.
You do better in what sense? You can't pay for your weed today.
Why do you think that's because people want to waste my time?
It's because you take your ridiculous self too seriously. You still
Actually,
haven't
I
figured
think
that out, Mr.
no,
Non-Ego.
Paul. See, but Paul, this is where you're projecting some things and misunderstanding some things. I take life more seriously than me, and life for me includes the poor people in Gaza right now.
Oh man, there we go to other people now. You just shifted the
Yes.
fucking conversation on the people who aren't you.
Well,
The only
right.
person you talk about, Paul, is Jack.
We're here to
Same thing.
serve. We're here to serve the world. Goodness.
You don't serve the world by talking about other people and saying you care about them. You actually have to do indecent. Again, we do this every day. You act like, look, you're laughing right now because you know you're completely full of shit. What do I do?
No.
I entertain people. I inform people. I
Right,
inspire
right.
people. I
It's
give
not.
people information on how to.
Nothing
Oh
you
my
do is
God! Why are
productive.
we
This is
doing
not
this?
productive.
Why are we
This is
doing this
downhill.
again? You know what? This is my
downhill.
fault.
This is downhill. It's not productive.
Yes.
Like you have to approach it like productive, or it's nothing gonna happen. Like I
Here,
don't see
Isaac,
productivity.
agree.
Guys,
Now,
can we be
Lou,
more
please.
loving? Let's be
Lou,
Christed. Let's be in the
Lou,
love of Jesus.
Lou. God, he is so. What I call this, Isaac, the pride and the arrogance that is so patterned with Paul, it's common today. It's no different than Donald Trump, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean he is bragging about having money to buy stuff, which is like telling us we're wasting our time. But I don't value like having money in my pocket and feeling like I have power. I don't. That doesn't do anything for me. I have what I need. I have the essentials, and that's fine. I don't need to be a rich paid troll.
Amen. Hey, and Isaac, here, if you can bear with me, and I'm going to keep the others in the back and they can do whatever they want. But this was part of who I wanted to introduce today, right? I'm starting early today. Why? Even though I see the value in being committed to a schedule and devoted to regularity, I know the value in spontaneity. And I know that when I'm filled with spirit, it's best to do so when I can. And I am a man. I can do whatever I want, just like everyone else alive today. We can all do whatever we want, but most people don't stop to think about what they want because they're fixed in these stupid patterns of arguments and habits, right? So here I am. I'm sitting here today, who I am and where I am, and what do I do? What are my options? I thought about following up with the city council folks again. I've been toying the idea of drafting another email to the local media. I haven't been able to get attention from the churches or my friends or neighbors for quite a while. But I sit here today as a man who I don't know what to do because in my heart, the only thing that I can justify my time with is the focus of trying to find a way to end wars. I've had a lot of people telling me I should go get a job. Go get a job, provide for yourself, Jack. Don't you know? This is America. If you want to be free, ain't nobody going to help you. These people are so fucking confused, Isaac. You're muted, brother.
Yeah, I posted a verse. It says, "This is my command to you: love one another. If the world hates you, understand that it hated me first. If you were of this world, it would love you as its own." So, if you're corporate, if you're greed, if you're evil, you'll be accepted. If you go along with their plan, you'll be accepted. If you don't, they're going to come after you. They're going to do whatever they can. It's just a fact.
Well, here's the thing. That's a badge of honor that many arrogant Christians like to hide behind, right? They go around being all prideful and arrogant, judgmental, telling each other, we're fighting God's battle. We're fighting God's battles. No, you're behaving like foolish fucking children. That's what we've been dealing with.
It's a perpetual cycle of revenge in this world. There's no forgiveness anywhere. And then one person has to get revenge. Oh, now the next person has to. Oh, then the next person has to. The next person has to. Forgiveness breaks time and actually heals time. People don't understand that this world is broken. Our consciousness is not how it was supposed to be. There are MK Ultra agents out there every second of the day ready to program the next thing to put on Netflix to like manifest in reality. I think like there's a conscious war against us. It's not even like, I don't even look at people's sin. I look at Satan. I'm like, you motherfucker. You fucking trapped us in this bitch. You got us to do this. You broke our conscience from God.
God allowed it. God allowed it so that we could learn and carry these memories. And there's going to
Yeah.
be a lot of people
And
when the
I
day.
still look at Satan though and not blame humans. I don't blame
Amen.
humanity.
Well,
It's not for me to
yes
blame.
and no. I don't blame. I don't blame. I see the unity. It is all an expression of God's plan. Every moment is an expression of God's will. So we can fight about it. We can complain about it. We can be afraid of the moments that life brings, or we can help support each other to stop enabling these patterns of just being bitter and disagreeable. If we work together with love, we can help the confused do better. In the back, we've got a couple of confused men who I've grown to love, both Lou Bass and Paul Unslaved. Okay.
Of course.
They're part of my life experience. There's no denying it. So I've
But I would
learned
say that the hate that he's bringing and the vibes, the negative vibration every time is not something you probably want in your life. No
exactly.
matter the love you think of, like we're called to forgive, but it's not like this doesn't mean you have to be their best friend.
Hey,
If they don't
exactly.
reciprocate, then like you're on a vibe, you're on a vibration, you're on a mental platitude, and if it doesn't match, like what's the worth there? It's like it's just gonna
Here,
be altercation.
let me offer two things here. Okay. My greater purpose, when I sit here, I'm sitting here in my sweatshirt. I jokingly call it, and for those who wonder, yes, I wash this often, but it's the only one I got right now. I can't wait until I can afford new swag and, dry cleaning and all that stuff again. But I'm loving the life I'm living despite the things that people want to judge me for. Paul, fucking prideful prick. I love him. But here, I've envisioned this as a possibility, Isaac, and I actually listened to I found a channel, and I'm happy to share it later. Trey something or other, Trey Smith, I think is his name, and he was bringing up a different prophet from our recent time, talking about times of today. There's been prophecies, it's clear all of us alive today, we're a part of God's plans. Donald Trump is clearly a part of God's plans. The prophecy is that Donald Trump would find God. I want to help him do so.
I prayed for Trump before, like deeply in intercession that he would.
Well, brother, I believe this is the goal that God has set before me. I never really wanted to focus on Trump. I just thought, he could be a way, but after the way things have been unfolding, I'm turning more of a focus towards him. The point is the end of wars.
Yes, in Trump's last debate, he went into a deep conscious state where he was like, "Yo, we don't. Why is there this endless killing? Like needless, endless, many people dying?" And he tried to grab the conscious people with that speech, I think. And I think if we're gonna get anywhere in reality, we have to focus on our conscious mind and not just, oh, here's the next law, here's the next thing that's gonna make people listen, and they're just listening. They're not understanding why. They're just listening. It's a rule, so they do it because they've been told to, but they don't understand it in their heart as to why. And I think that's what they're creating with all these laws. It's like you made another boundary, but I don't understand it. Okay?
Isaac, yes, and the guy in the back, Paul, he knows the inside and outs. He's got an incredible perspective, and he's got a very gifted mind, a collection of wisdom he's gathered. I said long ago, well, I've been on this path of trying to find a way to get immediate ceasefire and immediate reforms. My life purpose has been since 2018, since I convinced myself to believe that it could happen, and then maybe I could be a part of it. Every day, that's been my purpose.
Well, if the government was smart, they would look at some of these enemies and they would gift them. They would be charitable, most likely, in some way, right? You bring them beer and weed and food and plants and land, and you
Let's
give
join
them
here.
time to think about and show the charity that we have. I mean, that's
Let's-
just one little vision I got.
Let's come back to here, okay? Because literally, my purpose and path, I see many, many, many ways to achieve this. What God wants is a world that's not run by liars, right? So Paul Unslaved has been like, the way I see it, I've learned a lot about myself, and he's helped me grow in knowledge of some other things too. But I kind of see it as a challenge. People haven't wanted to believe in me because I have no results to share about what I can offer. But nobody's actually really listened to what I've had to say. I mean, at least not those who claim to be close to me. Welcome back, Paul.
Can I just
got
ask
so much faith in
Isaac,
you.
because before
Yes.
he said that I was arrogant along with you for saying that we
No, I
should
didn't
care
use
for
that-
ourselves. Can
I
I
didn't
ask?
use that word. I never used that word.
I did.
Can I
Please.
ask? Can I ask how you have that apartment or that dwelling? Like, you don't work
I
as
live
well.
Oh my
No, I live with my
God.
parents.
What is this?
I live with my
Paul,
parents.
So I'm not allowed to ask a simple question without you freaking
No,
out.
Oh,
hey, it's fine. It's fine.
oh.
I like this question. I want to. Yeah.
Okay.
So the
My
guy's a
family
drunk
is
who lives with his
united.
parents.
No,
That's all I wanted
See,
to
now
know.
you're assuming. You didn't even get to. My
Right.
family is a connected family unit. We all have our animals. We have our family. All of our sisters come over. My nephew comes over. We're a connected unit. My mom likes me here. My mom doesn't even want me to leave.
I'm
Like,
sure she
likes being
does.
here.
I'm sure she
doesn't.
does.
Paul,
Dude,
Paul,
she told me. She
Isaac-
told me
I
she does
know.
not want me to
Isaac-
leave.
Devouring
Yeah.
mama, just like Jax
Isaac.
with that mama spirit you both got, sitting
And I
around
love
sipping
the
beer and not
family
doing
unit.
and being.
Yeah. I love the
Please.
family.
Isaac,
It helps.
I want to encourage you, pay attention to you. Okay. This is going to help us all. Please explain, but you don't have to defend, right? He's not going to accept anything as good. That's why I started interrupting that, is because it's his prideful arrogance. He wants to qualify you by his determination. Do you have money enough? Do you have enough evidence for me to even listen to you? He's arrogant. And here, this title that I wanted to point to as well. Low standards find darkness. Paul, you've lowered the standards for yourself, and it's clear.
By not wanting to live with my parents the rest of my life because I don't want to work and
No.
drink liquor.
Nope.
Bro, it's nothing
That's
like
your
that.
argument.
You're just assuming it.
My explanation, Paul, is based
Well,
on
I didn't
your
get to ask any
daily-
questions without getting called names and projected onto. I'm
Well,
just
you
trying
are
to
being-
I've been in a
establish the.
coma. I've been
You're
in a coma and I've
deflecting.
had magnetic treatment on my brain and I'm like way slow, bro. Like I've had damn near.
Okay, so more
fucking
excuses
killed
and
me.
justifications. You're too retarded to work, right? So you sit around your mom's house and
Well,
drink.
actually, I start a
Paul,
job in
and tell
about
us
5
about
days.
Jesus.
I start my new job in 5 days, but it has nothing to do with reality or your heart or how you love people and how you treat
Okay.
people is how much money you make.
It actually
has nothing to do
does.
with it.
It actually does.
No.
If you're charitable,
no.
what do you want? A charitable to me right now? You want to be charitable and give me $20 so I can go get my weed that you bragged about I can't go get?
That's fair. See, thank you. You're calling out Paul's pride.
In other words,
Paul, you're looking like an arrogant fucking fool. You can take your arrogant fool to entertain your fools on your platform, Paul. If you're not here to judge and to prosecute and to bully people who have joined me.
that's what
And
you're
I'm not
doing.
gonna
You're playing
accept this
power
shit.
games.
I'm not going to accept this shit from you anymore, Polly boy. Don't you know? Don't you know that you are the one holding yourself back? Don't you know that you are the one surrounding yourself with enablers? Don't you know that you are the one pushing away people that are more successful than you and me? By the same standards you judge me for, you jealous little bitch.
But that's the point, that I'm not money
You
hungry.
were so triggered the other day with Zach. Remember, Paul? See, part of becoming a man, praise God. God is so So amazing. See, brothers and sisters, what we have here today is a product of today's society, right? One who's prideful and arrogant, want to boss everyone around. I'm talking about the clown in the back, clearly. How do you encourage people to become better if they can't even find any flaws? Paul, you're a confused man who could do so much better, but you don't want to listen. I've allowed Paul to sit in the back for a little bit. He can take a time out like a little child. He wants to behave like a little arrogant child, like he knows everyone and everything better than everyone and everything. Oh, Isaac. Oh, man. Oh.
You're a drunk. You drink 1 beer a day. Well, 32 ounce, but you know, it's like, dude, I start a new job in 5 days.
Isaac, what if there's better things for you than that?
Oh, there is.
I'm telling
not
you,
done.
man. Let's you and I talk
Yeah,
offline.
man.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll discuss some creative ideas because
Yeah.
Isaac, I swear to God, if God allows and people cooperate, I could be speaking to people in Congress through this technology by the end of the day. And if we get the right messages to the right people, get the right people involved, there could be an immediate calling together of, hey, ceasefire is now the focus, right, for all the wars. So we
It's
get,
always been my idea.
well, let's do it. Let's see what we can get done.
I got the chills. That's a good vibe. Because I believe it. I could see it happening. I could see the papers being signed. I could see the gifts being given to show that we actually mean it. I mean, it would take giving. I think it would take charity to show them, like, yo, we're just trying to fix this shit. We're not trying to fucking make it worse. I mean, if that's their goal, I don't know the elite's goal. They might want to run the economy with war.
Here's what I realized: the spiritual teachings from the Bible, they're no shit. Okay. People need to start really considering these things. One of my thoughts to ask today for I should have brought it up with Tommy for sure, and Snafu. All those guys claim to be Christians. Christians want to cling. They want to fight people who say that perfection is available. No, we're sinners. There's only one who's perfect, and God will never duplicate that again. Oh, really?
He's our teacher. It's for a purpose. It says, strive to be perfect as our Father is in heaven. Strive. It means you have to try. You got to fucking try.
And it's actually so easy when we gain, and I trust God has tested me in ways that are so different, so gentle. God is so amazing. But where I am today, I would compare my faith to be close to what I understand of Jesus, man. If God brought me to take a beating, and I take verbal beatings constantly. I forgive and I have fun, and I've learned how to have joy with this life I've been given. And so here, the point is, what Jesus was here for was to lead us out of our own sinful ways. Mm-hmm. What does sin result in? A confused mind, a heart that's got a bunch of guilt and a bunch of shame. Yeah. Well, it's all God's perfect story, but there's a day coming very soon. It's happening. It's happening whether people realize it or not. The energies are changing. More and more of the Christic spirit is coming forth through people. There's going to be miraculous healings. Like you said, coming back to where you said, you can see it. You can see the papers being signed, the agreements being made. And now imagine the news going out to the world. right? Even the gangs stop fighting, even the crime stop, right? There's a total transformation and people start celebrating freedom. We
It would
unite.
it would probably be such a heightened vibration, elevation high that we would never want to go back. Ever. Because I felt it.
Brother. And yes, we will all be experiencing that because that's where I found myself at. I fought to keep my bitterness. I fought to keep myself small and insignificant. And man, anyone tuning in, there's a divine order to all things. God created the day. God brought us all together. For those
Only
who have
he did. They can't deny that.
For those who have ears to hear, hearts to receive, minds that are willing to listen and understand. Love is why we're here, without condition. Here, the churches didn't teach these things. And really, I don't know why children are not really taught this stuff, the basics of being a good person. It's really learning the inner strength of acceptance. Sometimes the inner strength of surrender, right? Because through
That's a
acceptance
tough
and
one.
surrender.
Yes. That's a tough one.
Well, here's what I realized. First, I thought I was just being tested in patience. So my patience kept growing. And then I realized I was still resisting. So I must have been tested on my level of surrender. So with surrender and acceptance, well, then I started wondering, okay, if God truly loves me and Jesus was willing to die to show me the way and I'm following the way, what would be the next step? Well, maybe God wants me to expand my experience with pleasure, like healthy pleasure, divine pleasure. Dude, I got like thousands of hours of massage into this body I walk around in. It feels so good to be alive that I didn't know it was possible.
Wow.
This tells me that I'm on the right path, despite what the people want me to believe. And those people returned, Isaac. Not to keep you waiting, but if you've got anything, all right. I'm going to welcome back Paul and Tommy. Welcome both of you.
Sure.
Yeah, see how he does, Isaac? I'm neither of these dudes' friend, but that's why he chooses to wait for both of us to defend himself by putting me and Paul in a room together. I got no business with Paul when I'm on Jack's panel. I came up here for you, Isaac, to question if you are that walk, why aren't you correcting all these devils in Jack's details?
Can you explain the devil in his details?
I could go on and make sure
Can you
you
give me
watch when he
just give me
boots me.
one? Can you give me
I'm
one?
going to, but make
Oh.
sure to take note how quickly I will eventually not get to finish. There is nothing about his signals of bliss and pleasure that are a sign he is on the right path. That's devils in the details, because he does not go by the word of God. He denies it and just says, I'll figure it out.
With God.
With
No,
God.
you're not with God.
The
You're
Bible
with the
is
God.
the Bible is an experience that people had, they wrote down they had with God. If you want to go experience God, you don't go read the Bible. You experience God with God.
No, if you want to follow Jesus, that is your only chance, is that one prophetic word of
Bro,
God.
that book, dude, that book is experiential knowledge that happened to people that they wrote down.
No,
You have to
no,
go
that book
experience
was
God to
written,
experience God. You can read
that
about God
book,
all you want, but you're not going to experience God unless you
that
have faith
book
and you
was
believe.
written by people who walked and talked and literally touched
Yes.
Jesus in their lives.
Yes.
So
Right.
So we do the same thing. Why would we follow the book
why would you
only and not
promote
experience?
the ignoring of that book?
Tommy.
I don't promote the ignoring of the book. I'm promoting that you
Well,
don't need the
Jack
book.
does, and you're up here backing
Yeah.
Jack.
You know
Dude,
what?
we don't have to agree on every little pick and point and nanny pull, whatever.
Except
Like,
I'm going to take a break from that
Yeah.
disagreeable pattern. What you said was spot on, Isaac. That is one of my criticisms about the Christians, the people who call themselves that. I go and ask for help. They offer me empty words, tell me they're going to think about me in their prayers, right? And then, I'm trying to share what I know. And even at Bible study, they don't want to listen to anyone. They just want to focus on the book. Bible study, of course, that makes sense. And no problem there. But
Yeah, you can get so caught up in the book that I feel like all of a sudden you're not experiencing God. You're just reading it and you're studying it and you're like going into the book. And I get that the book's divine. I get that the book's alive. I get that the book can speak to you in time, no matter where you are and what your mental platitude's at. It will match it. It will find it and it'll speak to you. But I will say you have to go experience with God, and you can't just stick your head in the book. You're not going to experience God. You're going to be reading about experiencing God. And it takes faith. You have to believe to experience God.
That's the way life really is. It's not so much the world teaches us we got to work and earn. And,
Yes.
if you can't believe in something until it happens. But God's way is the spirit, and the spirit works opposite of the flesh. If you want something to be, you must first believe in it. And once you believe in it, then it may, if it's God's will, it will manifest itself.
So there's no action component to that. We just sit around willing it in spirit, and then it just happens. Why do you keep talking when I'm talking? It's kind of passive aggressive and disingenuous.
You asked a question,
right?
Well, I actually wasn't done at formulating the question. You seem to have all the answers. It's interesting.
Paul,
okay, then lay it out.
You just jumped in with an assumption.
I'm just kind of curious if you guys both are like experts at manifesting. Why is it neither of you can manifest your weed?
I don't want weed. I was joking.
No one told you that. See, Paul, you're looping in the past again. I've already told you.
So it's not God's will for either of you to be able to make a living without your mommy and daddy or the bank.
Paul,
that's all you live by is the debt in the
It's not all I live by. I'm focusing on that for a reason, because you guys run
Paul,
from that because it's this.
No, your narrative is keeping you confused, Paul. And your arrogance.
He works for like corporate.
No, he glorifies wealth.
That's what I'm saying. It's like weird.
He's been all up into people like Andrew Tate and 50 Cent and the other Wes Watson, all these people that glorify wealth, and they do a little bit, they encourage people to be better, but the focus is still on fucking selfishness, Paul. You're a selfish man, dude. You want to sit and here's Paul's character being revealed by my honest testimony. He's sitting in the back now because he wanted to loop on accusations from the past that I can't afford anything. Now, Paul claims that, I don't know what his claim is in our relationship, but he's been bragging about his wealth right to my face. For what purpose are you bragging and being such a douche?
Well, that's the thing. To some folks who don't want to put the time, energy, attention, and work in, it's bragging. For everyone else, it's inspiration. That's the difference between us.
No, but the difference is,
so you've been in a coma, had brain damage, and now you're blaming me for not being able to like be the.
So you're victiming now. So you're playing a victim now to get out of your responsibility.
If someone died, if someone dies in 9/11, are they a victim or are they caught up in something?
Again, you don't seem.
Dude, I'm telling you, my brain's damaged hella bad.
Well, Isaac, yes, there's no denying the past. There's no denying the effects of the past. However, I trust you and your spirit, your faith have been tested. That's all it is. Okay. And that's a miracle, right? There's going to be miraculous recoveries of everything that was lost. It's part of God's love story. All right. So when we talk, and I don't mean to do that like this, but when we talk, that's one of the things we'll focus on is the power of yours. But Paul, the selfishness, right? You wanted to present the case that you're bragging in front of me is your story. Well, my testimony is you're a fool, Paul. You think what you have is a lot. It's a lot for you. It would be a lot for me at this time. But that's a small amount. That's nothing new for me.
No, that's
You're looping in the past, Paulie boy, without the recognition that today, in the here and now, you're not better than me. I'm not worse than you.
Okay. Can we have the back and forth, or are we going to keep the power games?
Can you allow it? Can you allow it and quit being a douche?
Sure. So I'll answer it now. You just showed hubris and bragging, saying you've had more, presuming that what I'm showing you is based on the amount rather than the way it was gotten.
Right.
You can't see that. You can't see how that.
You're
I'm a beggar now. Okay. Great stuff.
Aggressive.
What is that?
You're very passive aggressive, very manipulative. You're a deceptive fucking con artist, Paul. I've said this before. You are literally a mirror of me. I'm here shining the light of love, and you want to argue against me because of your standards of money that someone else made. Someone else made that money. First, someone else created it, Paul. Then someone else earned it, Paul. And then someone else was generous and shared it with you, Paul, while you sit on your fat ass calling people names and gossiping all day, calling it entertainment, right?
You're just upset you can't.
No, I'm not upset, Paul. I think it's fucking hilarious how God works, man. Paul, you and I are living the exact same life. I admit my flaws, Paul. I could be in better shape. I could be exercising more. I could be, I don't know what more I could be doing because I'm constantly growing and changing and exploring different ideas, Paul. Since I've met you, you've been playing this same prideful character day after day after day. It's time for Paulie Boy to grow up. It's time for Paulie Boy to come into reality, so like a come to Jesus moment. We escape darkness, right? What is darkness? Oh, I said it in the description. It's stubbornness. It's denial. It's childish and foolish behavior where people think they're better than one another. Paul, you're a slave. You are a slave to your bitterness and to your disagreeable character. You are a slave. You're not living life. You're looping. When you're ready to show some respect, you'll become respectable. But until then, Paulie boy, go live your dream without me. I fucking love this life, man. I truly love this life, but I don't know what to do if people don't want to change. You can't change them. And see, this is the disappointing part, though. I see Paul enslaved just like me, right? I see myself just like Donald Trump. I can relate to him. I've experienced his type. I've lived those thoughts. I understand him. He's a man without God. He is a test. Man, I didn't bring it up. In the news I watched yesterday, there was a clip from Donald Trump where he is saying publicly, he's calling out to Christians and declaring, I am not a Christian. Hello, if that's not the devil calling the Christians to follow other than Christ. Hello, McFly. And I know a lot of people who call themselves Christians that they are all up Trump's ass the way that he's been. The reason I bring this up, brother, my purpose, the only reason I live in Spokane, Washington. The only reason I live each day is to try and create a better world, and a better world is going to be found beyond the wars and wage slavery. And I think Donald Trump could help. I had entertained the idea of bringing someone like Paul with me because he's got such a gift with the speech, but his pride and arrogance, I wouldn't take that guy around anyone. Hell, I wouldn't even take him around my family. Fucking disrespectful, arrogant, prideful people, man. But these are God's children, Isaac.
Yeah, it's just sad. It's just sad that we don't unite. It's sad that there's just all this conflict. There's just no reason for it, and it's just people's ego and pride. I don't get it. I don't even understand it. It's so far out of understanding how they act that I don't get it.
But please allow yourself to get it. Okay?
It doesn't make sense.
It can make sense because God makes sense, and God is the one doing everything. Hurt people, right? There's an intentional loop in the design of who we are. We get to choose, right? We get to choose what we do and what we think, and what we think and what we do creates an outcome. People are confused because they're looping between the past and the future. They're trapped in their thoughts. Well, it's real simple. God has the answers in the hearts. But the only way that answers can be received is by those willing to receive answers. When the mind is focused on problems, answers are ignored. Which we've got two characters who, ever since I've been online, have, well, not ever since, but we've got two characters who want to loop every day, pretending that despite the fact that wars and oppression and genocide and manipulation and exploitation, despite the current destruction of the world we live in, these people found it in their purpose to be agents of chaos against me. And brothers and sisters,
well, that makes sense to me.
It's allowed me to improve and refine, to grow in my faith in God, to give up all hope and all faith in humanity. But my faith is in God, that God will move humanity to change. And I want to be a big, visible part of that change, because I know change can happen just like that. And I've been saying for a while, Isaac, you just showed up recently. I've been saying for a while, it appears to me that in the next few days, even potentially, I'm not making any predictions, but especially if Snafu runs along with this interview, everything is coming together in a perfect order, and I can't wait to see where it leads. Welcome back, Snafu.
Yeah. No, hey, I got off the phone with Chemo here. It's happening soon. Isaac, by the way, your channel is getting striked by the Snafu Crew strike team. Go strike team, go. Jack, you might want to tell
Go strike team, go. That sounds like something that 5-year-olds watch, and you probably watch it.
Yeah, it sounds like a faggot trying to talk to me. Hey, you faggot. We're striking your channel.
Oh, that's the word you have? Nice. And you have to use gay words, and you have to dare to strike my channel.
Strike him and report him. All my strikers, go ahead and go to Isaac and strike the shit out of his channel.
Everyone strike my channel.
Can I talk to you personally?
Change reality.
Can we get rid of this fuck? I want to talk to you about Chemo. Can we get rid of this fuck? Let's talk to you about the real
queef out there, bro. Like, I've made better sounding queefs with my dick in a vagina.
Get rid of this guy.
You sound like terrible.
Jack. We're gonna strike you, bro. This strike team. Make sure you go to Isaac
Team,
and share
like
that
5-year-old, double dog, dare you, strike me.
and make sure you strike him, strike team.
He's gone.
Thank
He's
you, Jack.
gone.
Let's
He's gone. You won. You
Okay, I
won.
would
Can
like
we
to talk to you.
celebrate your victory for a moment? You won.
It's not a victory. He's going to get struck. The strike team is
Okay.
on his ass. You know
All
it.
right. So let's move on, please.
So let's move on. So I'm going to interview Chemo in a few days. I don't know if you know this, but he's burying his son.
I know he lost his oldest a few years back. I didn't realize there was
He
another
just
loss.
lost another one, apparently. So
Maybe
he's
it's
going to
time.
come back. Now, I'm in turmoil here. Do I allow you to ask questions, talk when I do this interview, or do I just let him spill the beans on you?
Do as you want. Allow the spirit of
I'm
love to
asking
guide
you.
you. No, it doesn't matter what I
Well, the
want,
spirit of love
Snafu.
is
You've
guiding me.
proven that. You've proven it doesn't
Well,
matter
I'm
what I
asking you, what
want.
do you think?
What?
I'm asking you, what do you think? Because
I
once he
think,
tells everyone about your predator behavior,
Snafu,
and
I'm
this is
trying.
a family friend of yours,
Mhm. I'm trying to
are
answer this.
you going to try and discredit him?
I'm trying to answer your question. If you please allow me just a moment to speak.
Go ahead.
But
Sorry,
but
go ahead.
I believe it's going to be live. Snafu hasn't allowed me to know much of anything other than it's happening. So Chemo or Snafu, to answer your question, should you allow me to ask questions or not, brother? God will reveal what you're going to do, and I'll learn what you do when God allows me to, when it's revealed to me. I encourage you, do what love leads you to do, your love of truth, your love of victory. I really don't give a shit what you do, Snafu. Don't you get it?
So do you not care that he's going to expose you for the optics you're lying to the audience about? Your childhood friend? This is your family, basically. 30 years, right? Or plus.
Snafu. Hello, can I explain? I know exactly who you're talking about. You don't need to go into all this loop.
Right. You've been telling the audience for years.
Snafu,
You've been wanting to connect with
if you're not going to allow me to talk, you're going to leave. Okay? So, Snafu, I learned long ago, I control no others. I would prefer that Chemo gave me a call like I've been asking him to do for several years. But hey, if he wants to be a bitch like you and reveal himself to be a bitch like you, well, God will allow the evidence be created. So I'm going to move along there. Thank you for entertaining us, Snafu. And if you want to share anything, yeah, you'll find a way. Welcome, Machine Lies. Hank, how are you, brothers?
This is good. I'm doing pretty well. Like I've been saying, he's been on tour all week, but when I asked him for evidence on Saturday and hard evidence, the only thing he could tell me, he and Officer Tarek, was that it happened before I was born. That's not. So that's why I was praying for good record keeping, and I'm not sure my prayers can be answered.
Yeah.
Another thing, I'm not sure. I don't think he could get to Spokane and find the connections. So he's had some help, but I'm not sure his help knows what he's been up to. So that's why I gave you the clip. So his help can know what he's been up to, so she doesn't embarrass herself again.
I'm not sure I followed that one, but if I may, let me jump in with something different. Because I glanced at the private chat. It looks like there was some conversations happening, and Paul is just fascinated by his own fucking narrative, and it's so contradictory. He doesn't even realize he's talking about himself to himself because he sees himself in me. He knows I'm just like him. He just doesn't want to accept it. So in the back, he's telling the words he should be hearing. Grow up, Paul. and be real with yourself and others, clown.
Well, that's how he's been since I met him like 9 months ago. I mean, remember when
looping.
yeah, he's looping. Remember when he disowned me for not agreeing to be an exclusive guest, exclusive panels to his show only. He said, "I don't want you in my reality. I don't want you in my life." Then I came on your show and he was watching me the whole time. Doesn't make any sense.
Well, it does make sense. This was actually, I think Isaac stepped out, but this is what I was trying to encourage Isaac to allow. It does make sense if you allow it to make sense. All you've got to do is try to understand the perspective of another. We may not have all the answers, but if we can accept they are how they are, then it gives us a chance to understand them. What I see in Paul is a common example of arrogance and pride. You know, the extreme version of arrogance and pride is what the experts call narcissism. But every one of us have these varying degrees of cold-blooded, uncaring, selfish, it's just patterns of behavior. Love will help it overcome. If we stop competing with Paul's ego won't be beaten. He's a strong man who knows how to. He's lived the life he's lived, and he clearly has a lot of gifts. His ego will not be broken from the outside. So that's why all these competing with him or trying to prove him wrong and stuff. He's an expert at it. He gets paid to do that shit. Which reminds me, Andrew Wilson gets paid to do that shit, and he's got a lot more subscribers than Paul. I want to speak to some of these greater platforms and try and grow, because my purpose some way, somehow, is to help wake the world up. These egoic arguments, the low standards of living, right? Our excuses and blame. Paul, I'm going to bring you up, but you're an example of it.
Yeah, you're going to bring me up just to put me back out. It gives you more time to waste. You can pull me up and throw me out. We can play the power game. You can waste more time, and you can fill another 2 to 3 hours of non-broadcasting. Where does it go, Jack? You're not making the money you wanted. You're not getting the numbers you wanted, and the bullshit politically correct rap is not working to get you traction. So where do we go from here?
Well, the only way from here with you is you've got to change your fucking narrative, dude.
It's not about me. You're the one who said that you don't need me anymore because you got Antoine with more money and numbers and fame and network. You exposed yourself and who you are, what you really want here that you're not getting. That's why you're so jealous, envious, and bitter.
Paul, you're pushing it.
Jack,
are you
calm down, passive aggressive?
Paul, are
jealous and bitter of what? What do you have or are doing that I'm jealous?
Paul, this is the
panelist
point.
He has panelists and you don't.
Well, no, he's got that. He's got his yes man and his flying monkeys, and I'm not looking for yes men or flying monkeys, despite what these clowns want to allege. I'm looking actually for people who want to take life seriously instead of these stupid fucking arguments, Paul. Grow up. Before I bring him back, let me be more respectful. Welcome. Machine Lies has been sitting here. He's always a patient man. And welcome to Denizen.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, you started early today. You caught me by surprise. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, same.
I
Expect
did.
unexpected.
Hey, my hope, and actually for those who tune in late, whether you do or not, I encourage, go back and check out the beginning, at least on the streams, because I tell you, when I start, there's a reason I started early today. It's filled with faith and love and inspiration and ideas that this world is ready for transformation. Should we give Paul another chance? I think Paul is ready if he just would accept the opinions of another.
Quick question, Jack. Is Dennison a beggar like me since he's on your panel and probably has no audience of his own with his channel name and his Cash App up there? Is he a beggar as well?
Does that matter?
I am.
Of course not. Double, triple standards. Okay, carry on.
Dennison answer your question. You said he was. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I mean, if it creates a problem for you to be here with him, then that's
No,
your
it
problem.
doesn't. It's
Fucking
just
get
proving
over
why
it.
you're all actually here beyond what you're bullshitting about, right? We know why
in
you're all
your
here
mind-
and you're not getting it.
Paul,
We know
in
why
your
you're here
mind-
and you ain't going to
Why
get
am I
it.
here?
And I'm going to laugh all day and all night and it's
I
going to
got-
trigger you and get you jealous and envious.
No, Paul,
I gotta be
you're-
honest. That
Yeah.
was what I was curious about, Paul, is why you're here, because I don't see you getting anything from this.
There you go.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, he calls his
I'm curious, like genuinely.
Denizen. That's
Yeah,
what
this
it
we're
is.
making content for the audience. We're
All
exposing
calls-
and pointing out the
No.
mental and emotional spiritual illness. We're pointing out the
You're
hypocrisy
revealing-
and double and triple standards.
You're here to
revealing
create content.
yourself.
But what else is everyone here for? Exactly.
I've said it repeatedly, despite your ignorance and stupidity.
So we're not on YouTube to create content. We're just doing a Zoom call.
That's
I
what
am,
you do, Paul.
Oh, I do that. Okay.
What do you think I do? If I'm saying that I do what you do, but different than you, what is
Right, because
my
you don't
purpose?
get any contributions and support. You can't afford
That's
weed, and you're
not
not
the
doing anything on the
topic,
ground to
Paul.
change anything.
Paul,
So this
look
is a
at your
cope stream.
focus.
It's a cope
Look
stream and a Zoom call.
No, Paul, look at your focus. Look at your pattern of deflection. Let's pause just a moment.
No,
Let's
that's my
read
pattern
through
of
it.
speaking direct
No,
truth.
Paul, you're in denial.
What is he in denial about?
His behavior. He's resistant to accepting that I'm actually on here to try and change the world. Paul's on here to make a living, to entertain others with his arrogance and his bullying. He goes around in the past, he was every day he was going around to other platforms just being a douchebag, interrupting conversations. Well, the ego is the Antichrist. It denies the Christ from being shared, the Christic love. The ego is the Antichrist, and the Antichrist is an agent of chaos. Agents of chaos are bringing all of the accusations, all of the opposition, all the disagreements. See, the agents of chaos, they lack faith, they lack love, and they lack understanding. I've been trying to share compassion. My compassion has been growing as I've been learning how to surrender to God's perfection. God is with us all right here and now. The only thing that disrupts the peace offered by God is our arrogance and pride.
Is me,
our
the
denial.
Antichrist, trying to stop Jack's movement. See, I'm even playing along, right? Look, I took the devil clown and changed my name. I'm even playing. I'm the Antichrist trying to interfere with your amazing world-saving movement because you're just too powerful, Jack. I can't have you saving the world from wars and legal secrets. As the Shaitan Antichrist that I am, I have to make sure that these wars and poverty and people with no weed and dry drunks and wet drunks continue to deceive people in Luciferian ways. Maybe I should just leave all together here, because if I just let you continue as you are, then it would carry out my plan perfectly. So one would have to wonder why the Antichrist would be here stopping someone from being a Luciferian dry drunk in their delusions and coping, deceiving the audience.
Well,
that's a wonderful idea.
How about there's another solution? You know, I've shared this wisdom before, you know it. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Stop it, Jack. You're interfering with my antichristic powers with that line, that bullshit line of New Ageism.
Paul, let me actually have
I don't know if I can take much more of this pure light of truth, Jack, and love. I can't handle it.
Paul, consider this.
Summon the demon horde.
No, I'm inviting you to join me, join my side. That's what
In
mankind
failing
is
and
here to
losing,
do.
I've already did that for 3/4 of my life. I already
No,
couldn't afford my weed and had nowhere to go and no one to go with and no career aspects. I've already done that.
Stop. Let go of the past. I'm bringing
Sorry.
you there's new opportunities before you. I've said this before as well.
No, there's
I
new
am willing,
opportunities in my life that you don't have and you want. You said so when you showed up
and
at my
you're
broadcast.
selfish. You don't share shit.
Well, I
You're a
did, but you don't know how to you don't know how you don't know how to broadcast. You can't get it done.
You haven't tried to help me. You've just complained.
Oh, I have another person who hasn't helped you make a living and create a career path for yourself.
Hello,
Another person
stop
who hasn't done it
deflecting.
for you.
Paul, I'm trying to reason with you.
Can't you
Okay.
just ask yourself a simple question? Why are your numbers going lower than ever? Why do you get no contributions? Why
That's
is
not accurate. And
That's not factual.
Paul, it's not accurate. The numbers have actually been growing slower than I'd hoped, but there has been consistency in the viewers, and I know there's a loyal group. There's many who have found me, Paul, who actually care about me. There's even people who wonder why I waste so much time with you. I've been pushed away by people, Paul, because of my faith in you. Now, what I was trying to say is, like Paul's saying, he's playing this oppositional role of me. But what if? I truly believe God uses the devil, probably allows it to be entertainment, right? And the devil uses mankind for entertainment. Let's stop entertaining the devil. Let's invite the darkness, shine the light on the darkness, right? So what's the good can shine out of the darkness. And Paul's got a lot of light, but I don't know how to get past your darkness.
Can you
Paul.
walk that? What you just said? Like, will you actually be able to walk that now, or is it just a sound good, feel good rap again?
How would you know?
So, like,
what is my standard?
Why is the presumption with you that everything you consider to be dark or evil has no purpose in this realm?
I never made that claim.
So then if it does, why are you fighting it and running from it?
I never said that. Why are you imagining that? Hey, thank you. Thank you for the support.
It seems like
You're
a good
showing
question,
that.
but
If I'm the devil antichrist opposer, challenger, doesn't that give you a stage and opportunity to prove it wrong rather than to
I
fight
think
it or
that's what
run
he's
from
trying
it?
to
I'm
do,
confused.
isn't it?
Or just another
It's not working.
Reason to good talk.
He's proving me right in every way.
God already
He's
won.
proving me right in every way.
God won already.
No,
I won't
hello.
disagree with you, but that's a matter of perception, right?
Here,
Yeah.
Right, it's a matter of
you know
perception. Skewed perception versus accurate
Well,
perception.
right.
Sure. So let's say his perception is skewed. He's
He needs
still
to take
under that
another line of
impression.
meth. Go hit your bowl of meth and come back.
Yeah,
Does
first
he
of all,
use
I
meth?
make a much
Like,
better
where's
down
that
than you.
coming from?
I'm in the red. I make it much
It's
better
like he's
down
on
than you.
crack. He's like, eh.
Isaac, Hank, Denizen, please recognize when I put Paul in the back, it's for me to say something. Okay.
In that case, we'll
Thank
talk
you.
to over him when he's back on stage then.
Fuck. Now I lost track of where the conversation was. See, agents of chaos, these egoic patterns, we can stay above this. We can rise above this together. All we've got to do is take our time together seriously. That's all I'm asking people to do is let's take our time together seriously, because today at this time, this is our life. The past is done. We can start greater futures together. And here, let me point out, God is so amazing. God is so divine. It is my prayer that if I'm right, God is using me. I'm not alone. There's many like me, but I am one of the messengers of today. Just like Jesus was, just like many others examples were. There will be a day where we celebrate very soon. And the best way to start celebrating is right now, through forgiveness, through acceptance. We can overcome the denial and the low standards that everyone has accepted for themselves. Hey, Paul, I'm going to bring you back again, but with respect, I've said this to other people too. Why is your goal not? Why is your focus not on trying to end wars and bring reform against what you already know to be true? Why are you not dedicated to facing the corruption?
The presumption is that I'm not. I'm actually more directly in.
Oh, the evidence shows you're not. You want to go bully around fucking employees alongside the road. All these cop watchers and auditors want to show themselves tough to employees who are expected to be better than everyone else. Sorry for the
Well, you already have all the answers, so really no point in bringing me up and asking me a question to cut me off and throw me out. Just more power games. I don't do this to you on my panel, but somehow you think it's appropriate to do it to me here. Because
that's a damn lie. That's a damn lie, Paul.
Paul, you do worse to me on your panel. And the reason I don't keep getting put in the back is because I learned how to play along.
Would you guys be interested in neutral ground? A conversation on neutral ground?
The reason you don't get put in the back is because I don't view you as a threat to my power. You view me as a threat to your non-power. That's why you do it to me.
You're always fighting for power without realizing.
No. That's not how that works. You don't fight for power.
Oh,
you don't fight.
That's why.
Yes, very annoying.
Listen. Here, and here, I brought this up before, and Paul wants to judge this because, it comes from me, and then he wants to argue about the words. To me, it's clear. The insecure are actually the ones who show the most pride because they got to fight for control and they got to fight for respect and they got to earn everything. And it's arrogance. It's the anti-Christ. So arrogant people argue. A different way of having conversations, honest people, they can present facts. They can debate perspectives of the facts. Humble people can discuss anything because they're willing to accept and receive what is offered and shared by another one. And the caring people, our world is the way that it is because people have lost care for one another, for themselves. Everyone's lowered their standards.
That's you. Again, that's you.
Nothing about you.
You just said people who won't care for themselves. That's you and everyone on this panel.
What makes you think
so everyone self is doing what you tell me to do. Right?
You won't. This tard won't even stop going at me every 3 seconds. He can't process.
You deserve it because you never shut up. You never shut up. So to talk over
I know.
you.
I haven't shut up this whole time. I haven't been silenced every time, thrown in the back, forced to exemplify patience and care and forgiveness.
Jack wants me to
while
talk
you
over
guys do
instead of
hypocritical
talking
double
to
and
shut
triple
up,
standards.
so I could just talk over you. I don't care if you're from New York. I'm
super
effective against you. Pip.
I see none of that.
More nonsense. More feel-good bullshitting nonsense.
Paul, please, I'm going to agree that Hank's behavior was not helpful, that he has shown a pattern of targeting you, and we can break through all of this stuff very easily.
Is it possible that the majority of folks here have shown the same patterns, unless they're not aware of me?
Well, you are a big part of the patterns you experience, Paul.
Why? Because I'm willing to be honest and talk about what I see when I view people or experience them, that I should then be targeted every time folks think of me or see me because I dared to be honest and authentic?
No, Paul. That's what you tell yourself. Hold on. Please.
You're triggered right now. You're in your feelers because what I just said has value and validity, and you won't look at it. You'd rather put up a wall and deny it.
Right. So, Paul, let's apply this as well here, okay?
Sure.
I won't disagree. Isaac, sincerely, Paul has a way of observing people, and he picks up on things that people don't see, as do I.
That's your claim.
Well,
I see evidence for what he just claimed. You know, I've seen it.
Again,
you.
just sitting around, like you act like that brings any credibility to the discussion. I've listened to you for the past week or two. You have little to no discernment, Dennison, but you, like Jack, keep claiming you do, and you're a voice of reason. And because folks in chat like you verify it, you think it's true.
Hello.
You're lacking. I've seen you.
I
I've
have
seen
no
you
idea
get
what
it
you're
wrong
talking
at least
about.
3 to 5 times where you were quite sure you were on the money.
The same has been for you.
From
but
your
you're not willing
perspective.
to actually acknowledge
Right, from my
when you're
perspective.
wrong.
The problem with my perspective and yours is I'm willing to go to what the results and facts show.
Yes.
What
and
do you
let's
think
go
I
to
would
the-
hold on? Take him back up. I'd love to ask him a question, Jack.
I know. Please allow yourself to disengage, though. Please. I mean, I'm.
Well, I'd love to know what he was saying I just got wrong. Because I was talking about him, not you. So I just wondered if you knew that.
I'm sure it was, but Paul will keep the conversation all about him. And if you know what, Denizen, I apologize. I lost track of where it was at. I interrupted it, but Hank, there's no denying this. Okay. I have a connection with Paul. I have an admiration and a faith that he can become a far better man. And yes, Hank, at least you are willing to put cash in the bucket, and you've been very generous with your support. But Hank, you're a part of this as well. I encourage you to start learning which battles to engage with and when to step back, please.
In this case, I'll just let you deal with Paul by yourself. I'll be back when you need some change your mind.
All right. Well, he left.
Paul left?
Yes. So
yeah, so I don't know if he's listening or not. Oh, there he is. He is. So, Paul, when I was saying there's evidence of your claim, I was referring to you, not Jack. I'm not sure if you knew that or not, but from my perspective, I think he thought I was talking about you, and that I was backing you up, and that's when he took the attempt to attack my discernment. And you know what? I gotta agree. I have to agree with you, Paul. My discernment is awful. I never should have backed up your claim and said that I've seen evidence that you're correct and what you were saying was true. You're right. That proves I'm a fucking idiot.
You know what, Denizen, thank you. We've got Mr. Snafu chomping at the bit in the back again.
Oh, no.
What is the point of this? I mean,
there's no point in letting Snafu up, in my opinion, Jack. Sorry. You know, it's your panel. A panel, my opinion, means very little, as Paul just demonstrated live on the internet. But yeah, that like Paul is worth, like, he's worth having a conversation with. That the zebra, I'm afraid not. No,
not at this point. I agree with you. But see, here's the thing. They all find it offensive. They all want to say it's different, but I see the exact same patterns between Paul Enslaved, Snafu Snaps, and Illumitami. They're all the same characters. They're all filled with hate and pride and accusations. And here's the thing. Our world does not need more false accusations, false witnesses. Our world doesn't need people like Paul and many, many others going online sharing negativity and hate and bitterness and all of this crap. Our world deserves better. I don't know what to do, man. Welcome back, Moose.
What's going on, fellas? What's the topic of the day, Jack?
Hey, actually, thank you. I started early today because today is Talcott Tuesday, and I'm fucking Jack Talcott, man.
Well, that's where I was at. I was wondering. I was like, dude, it's Talcott Tuesday, and you didn't even tell me you were going live early. It's 5:20. I'm late. I'm late to the show. But anyways, we're gonna celebrate you because it is Talcott Tuesday. It's the only Tuesday of the week. It's the only one that has Talcott in front of it. So praise God.
Hey, I started today early, unannounced. It was spontaneous. And again, I encourage people. Paul may be right. Because of Paul, because of God, then there's more people tuned in. I do encourage people, check out in the beginning. I started early today because of spontaneity, filled with spirit, filled with faith. The idea is very soon in this lifetime, this entire world can transform and change, and it can happen in a couple of days. It can happen in a moment. Life is a mystery that we're all here learning, trying to figure out. But we're not learning much if we're looping in nonsensical, egoic competition, imagining reasons why we should disagree. It makes no sense to me. But the topic today is how low standards find darkness. Because the reality is this oppressive government and the militarized police that people like Paul and others want to complain against. This oppressive government, well, hey, there's many reasons to complain. So let me not be a dick. I'll acknowledge that. There are many reasons to complain. But the reality is, as morality goes down, freedom goes down. People become more moral, we'll have more freedom.
Interesting.
It's the truth. Morals drop especially when there's a lack of education and poverty, when people are raised in survival only mode. Man,
Yeah.
some people have literally had to fight and steal in order for them to survive to the point
Do
of
we
today.
only become more moral then when the hierarchy of needs are met? Like, yeah, go ahead.
That is the way of teaching that the top spiritual aspect, the realization, that's the end result of all the others. That's bullshit. It goes the other way. The number one focus for our children and for ourselves, it wants to be becoming aligned with the divine, becoming holy in our own way. And it's easier than you want to think. And as a matter of fact, that's the key. You stop allowing your thoughts to corrupt you and your life. When we cleanse ourselves of the excuses and blame, there's nothing stopping us from getting together, finding a way with the will, reaching out to whatever connections we can think of, media, political, businessmen, whatever. Peace is the purpose. The end of wars, I got a lot of theories of how it may come to be like after the world transforms, some of the explanations that we'll see. But we're living at such an incredible time that was prophesized. I'm confident that we are the prophecies becoming fulfilled. We are the saviors the world has been praying for. We are our own salvation. And as soon as we become our own salvation, overcoming our own darkness, our own problems, we can easily become the salvation for those around us. And it's not complicated. It really isn't. Matter of fact, living with the egoic turmoil of, fear and worry and hate, living like that, it's shitty. There's no other way you want to live than with a clear conscience and with an expanded heart. That's from my personal testimony and experience. It's not coming from a book. Any thoughts? Otherwise, we've got an agent of chaos chomping at the bit to come back. Should we play with the devil?
If it's Paul, let Paul in. Just let him talk. But if it's the zebra, fuck that guy.
All right.
Before you do, sir.
Yes, please.
Peace and respect to you all. And I do have a thought, a biblical quote for you. Do this first, and all other things will be added to you.
Seek ye the kingdom of heaven first. It is there to be received, to be celebrated. The kingdom of God is in the present with God. That was my question for many Christians. How far away do they believe Christ is from them?
Closer
if they think
than your jugular vein.
it is. It's the heart that beats us. That's the Christ. And that's where all the answers will be found. The key is to practice training the mind to go to the heart for the answers and then go to the world for the confirmations. That's what I've been doing myself. But this brings up why it's so important to have healthy relationships around you. On your own, your idea generating opportunity, it's limited. And this is what I mean. I've experienced this myself. I've been so caught up and worried about a problem. And then I find that the answer and the solution was right there. I just didn't know it. I didn't have the idea. And so then I started seeing that pattern and learning to trust in it. Well, remember when you got worried last time, Jack, and you wasted time and then everything worked out better than you thought it would? I've been living that way for a long time now. It's how we want to be. Faith in the divine. It allows us to have a faith in ourselves. And if we have a faith in ourselves, then we can trust each other very easily. If we can trust each other, we can work with each other. If we work together for a common purpose, like ending wars and bringing reform, oh, geez, seems like a pretty good idea to me. Hey, welcome, Rocky. If anyone was wanting to jump in, please feel free. Hey, Rocky, you and I we've got very similar perspectives, and at the same time, I think we've had some disagreements regarding the religious perspectives. But I know you to be a man of faith.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts? Can you allow your mind to consider the possibility that God could be using us, all of us, those who have found the way of Christ, those who have found that example to know and to carry? What if we are the return? This is the return of Christ. It's happening through us, and the devastation and destruction, it's happening all around. We just happen to be blessed.
Yeah, I can't judge what people are doing, if they're led by the Lord or if they're by their own thinking or whatever. I can't judge that. But it does say that if there's some what do you call it? Litmus test. I mean, do you profess to be a Christian? Or you just read the Bible for what knowledge it has and don't really believe all of it? I don't know. It's I don't know how you stand on some things, so I can't really judge you.
Well, we shouldn't be worried. This is part of what I think the egoic pattern is. People need to overcome this idea that they have the jurisdiction to judge others. The path to love is to accept the moments of experience. The moments of experience reveal God's creation. We're here to unite with God's creation, not worry about our judgment or disagreements. And part of the religious teachings, it's clear and obvious, they've been misunderstood in many ways. Many of the churchgoers I've met and spoke with, many of them are actually obviously worshiping a false idol. They're worshiping a book. They're worshiping the image of Jesus, placing him on a pedestal. Oh, he's I'm such a fanboy of Jesus. He did everything for me. And then they've got
Yeah, I
no
don't
pride
worship
in themselves.
I
What's
don't
that?
worship a book. I don't worship a book.
Good.
I hear what you're saying. I don't worship the
Hey,
book.
right.
I don't worship the book.
It's a source of beautiful wisdom, beautiful inspirations. If you open your heart, and the perfection of that book and I'll accept there's many different versions, but there's a perfection to time. And if you look for the perfection, you find the good, and God is the good. So seeking the good in that which is helps us to understand. And in the Bible, I've heard it pointed out, it makes perfect sense. It speaks to our hearts. And a corrupted heart will find all the excuses for battle and war and hate and fear and judgment. Every excuse can be found in the Bible. But every answer is pointed to as well.
Yeah, I think if we understood what the book was actually trying to say, would be better than trying to figure out some mistranslations. It's been used by people to push their point across when it might not even be what's actually being said in the scriptures. And so, yeah.
Well, here in the bigger part of religion, that if you go to government and all of these issues with the law enforcement and such, every interaction between authority and another, it's all based upon interpretations of rules. And that's why everyone goes to opinions, but rather than really understanding what is the order behind the rule, what is the meaning for this. My career ended because of interpretations of rules and fucking bureaucratic nonsense. I have within me every reason in the world to do what I'm doing and to be where I am. God is amazing. We're a part of, sorry to keep going on, but back to where you were at with the Bible. The meaning I found in there finally, and I didn't give the Bible much respect. Again, I've been open about this. It's one of the last places I looked in order to understand God. But it's a love story. The whole story from God, the whole message from Jesus, the whole point of our living is love. Love has been generously offered to us through nature, through so many hardworking people right now, making sure to keep the power on, making sure I don't have to worry about, going and fetching some potable water. There's peoples in every community that are helping us sustain these lives that we're living. We lose sight of each other. We lose connection to each other when we allow our standards to drop. And when we allow our own standards to drop, when we're disrespectful and bitter and unforgiving, it lowers our self-worth. Not just within us, but outside. We become bitter, and bitter fruit is not worthy. Every one of us can raise the standards of ourselves and stop worrying so much about the standards of others. That's what I've been trying to communicate with Paulie Boy, man.
Yeah, God is love. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life.
I've really wondered about those words. That
I no longer believe in Jesus.
Rocky, your audio sucks, bro.
What's wrong with my audio?
It's audible. Go ahead, please. You no longer believe in Jesus. I think you were going to say
Yeah, I know Jesus. Yeah.
That's where I find myself as well. I don't believe in God. I know God is with me, and I know God is with me. The Father in heaven is for me. because I found my way to not only believe in Jesus, but to truly seek and invite him into me so that I'm no longer alone. You know, I've got the communicator, I've got the translator, right? From the Heavenly Father to me is the man and the image of Christ that I've learned of. What a blessing God has given us. I was thinking about this earlier too. It is so obvious. It is so simple. It is so right in front of our fucking eyes. The only way that people could not know this is by God's grace, God's power, God's glory, God's perfection. That's the only reason we don't know things, is by God's purpose. The only reason we know things is by God's purpose. Everything that is by and for, it's by the grace of God for God's purpose. And so if God's purpose is love, why are we allowing the devil and Satan to rule this world with sinful habits, selfish habits? Greed and selfishness enable the corporate corruption. Greed and selfishness enable the government oppression. As our morality improves, we will unite together so that secrets and lies, secrets are no longer legal, lies are no longer profitable. The solution is so clear and obvious. It's got to be from God. God is the truth. And the truth of our lives is revealing this. The visible darkness of the world, the banking system, the corporate system, the government systems, these are the beasts that have been driven by the harlot, the prostitute, people prostituting themselves out, enabling those beasts to gain power. Let me shut up. I think that's what that is.
So I have a question for you, Jack.
Please.
How do we help a singular individual and thereby help everyone to grow beyond their fear from the evolutionary process for sheer survival and come to realize that love is the stronger bond so that governments can no longer take advantage of fear?
For the individual, I trust the best way that God's plan is through example. We're here to be good examples for each other, to help those who are afraid, right? Caught up in the patterns of media, and they're watching all the news, or they're whatever. People are living in their own little lives. Love, demonstrating love with the patience, the awareness to be present, right? The intention to be present, to not worry about me for a little bit, but to worry about you, so that you feel safe and that you can allow your mind to consider ideas that feel safe. If we start doing stuff like that, showing, demonstrating actual care with one another, it's love, correction, encouragement. All those things are so important.
I think that you're completely right in your assessment of the difference between love and fear. But I have to say that people become brave when they know there's some kind of a safety net, be that Christ, family, money, etc. And I'm not saying money as if it has to be evil.
No, you're right.
And people can extend themselves in love when they have that strength by other means. So how does a person get to that strength?
This is where the idea is moving beyond the worldly ways, the fleshly ways, into the spirit ways. And the best way to receive anything is to create it, to be it, and to give it away. If you want more money in your life, I mean, these are proven methods that other people have taught me. There's universal laws to this experience of being a human. And it makes sense. It's in line with all of the spiritual teachings as well. That which you want to receive from God, you must be willing to appreciate. You must be willing to appreciate it so much that you joyfully give it away. So for people who are feeling alone, maybe they've got the appearance of comfort and safety. There's other people who spend time with them, so they're family and they must be loved. And they got a job they go to every day, so they got money in the bank and a nice car that's, you know, on loan. They're still paying for, but appearances are deceiving. And the idea that we can't help another until we help ourselves. We help ourselves most by helping others. Why? Because we're serving God when we're serving others. People have been selfish and afraid, and this was my life. Okay, I'm speaking again. These are lessons I've learned from myself. I didn't realize how selfish I was by committing myself to a long-term plan at the United States Postal Service. I was going to have 36 plus years of federal service, a nice pension, have benefits. Was going to have this paid off, be able to pay for my son to go to college. All of these things were unfolding and in the works. And then I finally lost all those things. God allowed me to detach myself from the world, and I selfishly turned to God. I sought to know. Well, it was either this is my life. I don't know that I could have lived any different way, but it took me, rather than allowing myself to feel broken and to be angry all the time, I sought ways to heal myself. And then the reality is, once I started looking at myself, I wasn't broken anymore. I was broken in the past. I was breaking free from the shit of the past, man. I was starting a new life. And being able to start a new life at my age with what I've learned all these years, and now that I found God, dude, I can't wait. I cannot wait for the outside world of me to start reflecting the inside world of me, so these monkeys like Paul and Margot and others can choke on their words. Let me not be rude. I don't want anything ill to happen, but I want them to regret the shit they've been doing and saying about me. Snafu too. Sorry, guys. I totally turned that all about me for a while again. Thank you.
Well, I believe there's tough love. You got some tough love once in a while.
From who?
Huh?
From who? Is that way? I mean, if you have a choice of offering tough love or compassionate love, what are you going to choose?
Whatever's required. I mean,
How do you know?
You have to stand up to the truth. And if you want to, and if it takes tough love to tell someone the truth, and they don't want to hear it, and you try to help them, but they won't listen, well, then you got to move on. But some people, you know, like you raise your children up, you tell them, no, this is wrong. You discipline them. That's called tough love. You don't just, you know, let them go on in their mistakes without correction. So some people need correction.
Right. I understand, Rocky, but I think we have had disagreements in some of the things. And I think much of my disagreement with many of the church teachings is the idea of punishment. Punishments and rewards. It's a bunch of incentives for slaves. And Christ, those who follow Christ, they are here to lead one another. And the thought I had, you're partially right, Rocky. Sometimes there is what's called tough love. No denying that. But my efforts of tough love, even as gentle as I've been, and here, there's another thing. What is tough? What is tough to one may be absolutely unbearable to another. and it may be absolutely nothing for someone else. So tough, again, the intention is to correct. The intention is to share. And if we're just being rude with what we're saying, it's tough love, so I don't give a shit if you like it or not. I'm going to be a dick. That's what Paulie does. And that's what I used to do. People don't receive it. Like you said, they shut down and they don't want to hear it. So what's the point of being tough and rude to someone if the result is there's no change?
I think maybe look at it in a different way, in terms of, you know, and this may sound a little bit like sadism or something like that, but maybe we accept a little pain from the people that are close to us because we love them. So you know, we allow them to criticize and also to beat up on us when they feel they have to. You know, I know that sometimes I understand or can overstand the deficiencies of others and allow them to behave in animalistic ways for a period. Just to allow them their space, you know, because I know that sometimes my demands are a little bit you know, pressing. You know?
And yet there's a divine timing that's beyond our desires. I'm excited for the divine timing and what may unfold. Here's my wonder. And I welcome other opinions. We're over 2 hours, but yet we still haven't even hit the time where I'm normally scheduled. I was debating earlier. I noticed over the past week, I've jumped into like 3, almost 4-hour live streams. And I wondered, is it better the 2-hour mark? Is it better less? What is best? How do we know? How do we know what is best when the results are out of our hands? What are you guys feeling? Should we keep it going? Do another one later? Should we, what do you think?
I can only speak to my own experience on my channel, where I have like a lot like Machine Lies, but on slightly different topics. Very, very complicated, well thought out, requiring someone of some amount of intellect to participate. And because of that, the streams often end up 4 or 5 hours. Yet I'll have 90% or better likes and 25% attendance of my total amount of subscribers. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, you know, I haven't looked closely at the data or how it is put together, how it's collected, but I've noticed the longer streams, there's greater numbers of viewers. I'm not so much worried about the subscriber count or the views. I know it's an indicator, but I am excited about what the future's going to bring, because no joke. Here, I'm going to offer this and I'm going to step back for a little bit, let you guys take over. There's something happening here. Okay. Something amazing, something divine. My mind has been blown in my life so many ways, so many paradigms and false beliefs. I faced so many insecurities and doubts I didn't know I had. Well, I've been telling myself this for a long time. God's been allowing me to learn and to experience these things for some reason. I can't find a better reason than trying to confront the American government and the entire corporate system. Wouldn't that be fun? Seriously, wouldn't that be fun? I think it would.
I don't know.
Here, new topic, whatever you want. I'm going to step back for a moment. Thank you.
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. You just use some of those same lyrics, and sorry.
Hey, welcome back, Isaac. I was just going to step away for just a moment. So please, let's keep this going. I think I didn't look closely, but I saw some encouragement. Let's flow and have fun today. It's Talcott Tuesday, man. We can do whatever the hell we want. We're grown adults, right?
Speak for yourself.
Is Moose still here?
Yeah, this shit sucks.
Well, I was curious about the work thing, the work ethic, where people are saying, "Oh, you don't have." I mean, I know work is overrated, but there are different types of work. Like working for the Lord, working to make your channel better, working to get more subscribers. So, it's all work. Everything's work. I mean, if you don't work, then what are you going to do? You just become a little vegetable. And I mean, it's work to get up and get a beer, ain't it? You got to get up, go get
Exactly.
a
I was
beer.
thinking, like, it takes work to eat. Like, that's work. Especially after I hit my head, I can't taste anything. It's work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
just
work is
Good, Richard. Oh, sorry. I was
uh,
saying that to
uh
Richard real quick.
yeah, yeah, of course. But yeah, I was just gonna say that work is more communal than actual material goods. Material goods have limited value. They may help us achieve a certain plateau of wellness, so that we can communicate and express a certain sort of freedom. But material goods have their limits because people get too much of them. They experience decadence,
Yeah.
and then and corruption and licentiousness and all of those type of things. They become soft, so the ideal of efficiency within work, that's an ideal of softness because it frees man up from actually having skills. So work has to have tangible skills where we can actually see the reward of our effort. So it's better if our work is tied to our community and to our survival, and to tangible needs than to some superfluous act or, as they call it, artificial needs. Because artificial needs tend to limit our freedoms. So freedom is not a goal because freedom on excess has a corrupting influence, and so does material goods. As it says, man does not live on bread alone. So freedom is not the goal of community, and neither is material satisfaction. But the goal of community has to be something intrinsic within that bond that we express within the community. Right? So that's trust. As they say, trust is better than gold, right?
Yeah. I work to be self-sufficient. I try to learn new skills and not rely on people. They want you to consume. And once you become a consumer and you can't think for yourself, you can't produce anything. You don't grow your own food. You don't do nothing. You just consume and get a job and work for the man and make some money so you can buy some more stuff that you don't even need, stuff you don't even freaking need. That's what they want you to consume.
That's the ways of the world, but I don't agree with the breaking off. I know there's many people working on that. For those who are interested in that homesteading life, as I've said, I've discovered a lot of people doing a lot of amazing things. I'm not so much focused on doing the primitive life and growing everything and doing everything myself. I grew up that way. I've learned to enjoy the comforts of life and everything that life brings forth. That includes the modern convenience of community, sharing. But we don't have communities because everyone has been conditioned as slaves. You got to do it yourself. Why? Because if we organize, we will overthrow. And the rulers know that. So they brainwashed generations and generations of us. We're here to unite, which is exactly what Jesus taught. We're here to unite with resources, with intention, with love, compassion. Why? Not to grow a church, not to grow a religion, but to make a better world for everyone's children. It's simple and obvious. I seriously can't believe that we were born into a world with these obvious things happening and it's never been taken care of yet. I remember those thoughts in like 5th grade or 8th grade, listening to history. After learning about the Civil War, the end of slavery, and then the civil rights movement, the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King, and then I look at the news, it's like early 80s. What in the fuck is going on? Why didn't these people take care of these problems before I was born? I was kind of pissed off as a kid. I think many of us were. We got pissed off along the ways. But it's by God's design. There's a rebellious spirit that's within us. It's for a purpose. Because God's children deserve better. We all deserve to become better than we used to be. The world deserves it. And if we're focused on the past, always trying to make up or outdo the past, well, what are we missing? We're missing time spent on the future, finding clarity. Go ahead.
Yes, I was saying yes. If you really look at what people are saying and talking about, most of it is always in the past. It's not a future vision; it's a past vision. It's kind of weird. One day I was like tripping really hard on shrooms, and I was like, "Whoa! Everyone only talks about the past; they're not manifesting the future." And it was clear as day to me. It was weird. I had that kind of "oh wow" moment.
Yeah, that's because the future is more of a myth than the past is. You know, we trust our memories more than our expectations. You know, so
it's crazy.
Faith comes in huge in this aspect. Faith is like you can imagine the future. You don't have it yet, but you could see it. And if you have faith in something, it supposedly exists already, and you just have to get it. Faith will like create it, and then you follow. And that's the work. Faith without works. Work is energy and or force over time. That's what work is. Force over time mathematically. I think times time. Something.
Hey, Machine Lies and I had some great discussions about time a while back. There's some fascinating perspectives and way to see time. It's a mysterious concept that we take for granted. Someone earlier brought up that scripture about the kingdom of heaven and discovering the eternal life. Isaac and I were talking about this last night. What he shared, seeing the patterns that everyone's talking about the past, he was allowed a divine perspective, a different way of seeing the world beyond just the ways of the world. And I've seen that too. This is what I realized. This is how we're all separated. In this physical form we're all sharing and experiencing, it appears it's the same time because physically we are in the same time. But those with corrupted minds, they're not present. They're literally going through life as zombies, mindless and heartless, not really thinking things through, just remembering. And then they remember imaginations and think those are real. And the whole world is filled with delusional characters. So here, what I realized for myself, my awakening, the come to Jesus moment, so to say, I God allowed my consciousness to arrive at the present. See, the present moment is where God is. And it's through faith we can create the futures that God will allow. All ideas come from God, all new ones, all good ideas come from God for sure. In my experience, most of the good ideas, they're pretty funny. They're enjoyable. It's something we like to share. I wrap my mind around the idea of love, man, and I encourage everyone Expand your thoughts and your experience with love as often as you can.
I've been to the point in my life where I understood humanity and its flaws, and I looked at the enemy more than I looked at humans making mistakes. And I realized that I could even lay my life down for someone to know God. I already know God. Like, I could definitely do that. And it says there's no
Yep.
greater love than that. And that will change your heart. When I was in 5th grade, my dad and I got into an argument, and I felt really bad. And I started feeling, I saying stuff, who knows? And he goes, Isaac, listen, I would take a bullet for you. And in that moment, I felt like a move in my heart. I felt like my spine, and I felt my head, and I felt like an awakening, like, oh, that's what love is. He said he would take a bullet for me, and it hit me, and it never left me, really. He was just mad at that moment, so I didn't understand at 5th grade.
You know, there's a mystery to life. The example you received, that was a gift for you to experience. It's easy for us to overlook the gifts and to, take things for granted. Sorry, I thought this was an interesting question. Jack, how does one with a 10,000 word vocabulary explain the world to another with a 100 word vocabulary? Let me start with simply. They do it very simply, patiently, and with demonstration, and really explain the world. Here is the greatest lesson I learned that I want to share. Acceptance. Number 1, accept. Accept that the past is the past and everything in it was what it was. Accept that this present moment is the opportunity to live. It's the only time we know. And if the only time we know is now, the moments of life, they're actually kind of precious. So we can spend our time, and I spent years in fear and worry, losing sleep about accusations. Hey, it's been a while since we entertained the devil. Should we entertain the devil for a few moments? Welcome back, Snafu.
You know what's funny is, Denson, I'm the only one who's bringing your past back to the present. So when he said get rid of me, what is Denson bringing? I'm the one connected with chemo. You just made a choice to backstage me when I could have let you interact with someone you've been waiting for years to. And now you're going to fucking treat me like this for Denson? For Denson? I'm the one, motherfucker. Is Denson reaching out to your family? Is he got them connected? No, I want you to get...
Oh my God, that was enough for me. Was that enough for you guys, or do you want more?
Isn't he the one that's reaching out to your family to prove that you're a rapist?
Yes. He
What a psychopath.
This is the thing. He's so focused on appearances and opinions. He has no clue about his appearance or the opinions that people have of him. He's a very confused man, and he dismisses intentions. That's something the ego does. It doesn't look for the sign behind the sign. It doesn't look for the meaning and the reason. And when we don't look for the meaning and reason of what people are doing, it's real easy for us to jump to conclusions. And these insecure, egoic minds, man, they just want to be right. It's nothing they want more than to be right. Because if they're not right, they got no value. I have compassion. And what, sorry, to bring it back to what Denizen said and Snafu was saying, he's not looking at the facts. Nothing stops him from encouraging Chemo to give me a call. And Snafu has bragged about his connections to Alex Jones and all these other people he allegedly knows. Nothing prevents him from reaching out to them and encouraging them to give me a call. This is why I have patience, is I see the value in people. I never try to underestimate what they might be able to bring. And I know there will come a day where Snafu is coming not just to me, but to others with a little more humility. And he's actually a really great guy behind the accusations. I've experienced that too.
Well, the Alex Jones shit is real. Again, what do any of these? No offense to Tim, I like the machine lies. The other guy next to him is getting struck like a motherfucker. Everyone on this panel, Rocky's been showing up with the, but Rocky better strike the fuck out of Isaac if you want to.
God's cutting
That
our
can't even be for internet.
Hey, God's saving us with your horrible audio again, Snafu. You're such like the Pigpen character from Charlie Brown. I know that's dating myself, but for those who know way back in Charlie Brown, the Pigpen character, that's what Snafu reminds me of, man. He's got this energy about him. It's just chaos. So unsettling, so unhealthy. And Snafu, I don't know details, but I know that your patterns of behavior, brother, you're physically making your body sick. It's your toxic thoughts.
What do any of these people have to bring to you a value? I'm bringing your old past. You're going to treat me like this.
Okay. Something happened with your audio too, Isaac. We lost you.
I'll come back.
Now it's better. Now it's better. But we missed what you were saying. Sorry.
I can't remember. It was something he said. I was just joking.
Christmas.
I just don't get, like, yeah, he wants to take down my channel now because I came here. Like that, dude, what is going on?
Welcome to YouTube, Isaac.
Yeah, I'm so confused.
Well, don't allow their confusion to be accepted by you. Okay. I hope you won't lose any sleep tonight knowing that
it's more just like, what?
Right. Oh, here, to answer for his claims against you, you're guilty by association in great part because
So is
you're
he.
here with me.
He's here.
No,
Every day.
He's attacking though. That's
Yeah, but he's here. He's still supporting your channel. He's giving you views. He's giving you hours. He's giving you audience. He supports you, bro. He just doesn't know it.
He thinks he's different. He thinks he's different and that I'm
No,
somehow different.
Hey, all the crew out there, go ahead and strike Isaac today. We'll show Isaac what we're about. Ask Jack and Paul how it worked for them. Now, tell him the truth. He doesn't know that it will strike him. You might as well tell him the truth, Jack.
I'll beat your ass in the astral world, motherfucker.
You ain't gonna beat nothing. You're fucking a coward simp or striking the shit out of your channel this week.
Do it, man, because I'm the simp that needs to strike someone. Yes, not me.
Yeah,
you.
we're gonna strike you.
That's a simp move, bro. Simple ass move to strike someone. Simp as fuck.
What do any of these people bring in to help you, Jack? You always say that. I got your old family members coming on my channel. What do any of these people got?
Snafu,
Venus,
how does that?
You're delirious.
Hold on, please.
No,
Snafu.
I don't care, dude. You could hack my computer and fucking watch me all day if you want. I don't give a fuck, bro. You're weird. You probably like to watch me. You'll probably try to fucking get on my camera and watch me all day because you're weird, bro. Just do weird shit. Don't tell me about it. Just do your weird shit behind the scenes. I don't care if you strike me, bro. Do your weird shit by yourself.
You do that. Look how you're acting. You do that.
Here, Isaac, please, just for a few moments. Snafu, your audio is so. Oh my god.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
I was trying. There was something there. I wanted. Oh, the question here: if Snafu returns, I want him to consider and share. Snafu, please listen. We're changing the subject, and I want to know where is Christ Jesus? You call yourself a Christian, and you claim I am not. So where is Christ Jesus in this moment, Snafu?
Well, again, he's about to be. Well, we're going to be angels and fishers of men to warn people about your predatory behavior soon. The question is, do you want to talk to him or not? And I wanted to have that conversation with you, but you're going to leave Denson. He's bringing nothing to you.
You should be sued.
Yeah, my others have suggested the same, that I follow his ways and use authority against him. You know, he's fixated on this idea of POGOs, privately operated or privately owned, government operated. And I believe he's been making a lot of accusations against a lot of innocent people. And he's showing himself to be privately owned. He owns himself. Only him and his enablers meet his approval, just like Paul and his flying monkeys. It's a pattern that's so common, especially on these online communities, man. But shit, there was a point I was going to. That's all right.
Well, sometimes you can catch more flies with honey instead of using shit all the time.
Well, what I want people, the real reason I'm here, I mean, yes, my goal is to end wars. And I think I would have a better chance of ending wars if people like Chemo and Margot and Paul and Snafu weren't wasting my time trying to disrespect me, trying to discredit me. So,
but you give them your time, though, Jack.
Well, I do, because I also think that on my way to end wars, a great way for me to succeed would be inviting people from my past who used to know me, inviting them into my life, so I'm not just broken alone here in Spokane. So I'm not broke. I'm abundant. I'm seeking opportunities to share what I've got, but I'm not going to waste it anymore. That's for damn sure. This world is nuts. People are fucking selfish. They take advantage of kindness. They take advantage of everything. So the funny thing is, Margot's bragged about her connections, not just to my family, but to my old friends, to the city government here in Spokane. Snafu, he's gone through the efforts to try and connect to people in my past. The only thing I've been asking anyone to do is to encourage people from my past to have a conversation with me today. I think they'd realize I'm still the same lovable guy they used to love. I'm better these days than I ever was. And this is what I mean. I won't go into details, but the dates and the time for me and my life, there's some patterns that I'm connecting, and I think everything is coming together. And if this is true, if the live without fear idea that God allowed me to brand, if that is an idea and a message for the world to know, well, I've learned the other side too. The solution is love. If this is real, we're a part of something amazing. And I think my life has significance. When people around me invite and allow me back into their lives will improve. And I know mine will too. And when I'm not alone going to city council or going to these other places trying to get connections shared, I won't sound like a fool screaming in the woods. So Snafu actually has the opportunity. Chemo drove to my house in anger in the past. He could certainly drive to my house as a friend. Oh, Snafu, there is a question I'd like you to ask Chemo. Because this claim against me happened like Hank said before he was born. We're talking about an incident in time over 33 years ago. So, Snafu, when you talk to Chemo, I want you to ask him why he didn't, or ask him if he did, and then ask him if he did not, bring these accusations to me when we were hanging out at his place as friends. Why didn't he talk to me? He never has.
Get rid of Denson and I'll talk to you about it. Boot him back.
Something happened to your audio again. I'm just gonna kick Snafu.
I will talk
Your
to you.
You're done, buddy. Hopefully you heard. Hopefully you will cooperate. But I don't care what happens anymore. You know what, guys? It feels good not to care what happens to you. It feels good to surrender your future to possibilities that might be better than you could ever think of. Here, to tie us back to an earlier conversation regarding time and the patterns Isaac pointed out, people are always talking about the past. I never realized it. I saw myself doing it. I thought it was fun to sit around and joke and talk about the past all the time, but that was literally all I was doing. And so think about it in the duality of creation, right? The Father of creation. It's beyond what we can know, but it reveals what is known in the present. The present is revealed to us each uniquely, moment by moment. Now, the devil's playground is in the past, but it's in the devil's playground where God has provided all the lessons, right? We reflect on what we've experienced in the past in order to grow in what we know and who we are today. But people get hypnotized by the past. It's what the world is taught. It's the way that slavery continues. People aren't thinking in the positions of government. People aren't thinking as they vote for the people in government. People aren't thinking because they've been taught to obey and then taught to work hard, taught to do everything on your own, taught to fight and defend everything you think of. And then to buy everything you can think of. There's people selling everything these days. That's why we're living in hell, is because people have agreed it costs money to live and to learn and to share. I'm here to say, no, it doesn't. We just got to find where we're welcome.
Where do you live, Jack?
Is my connection better now?
A little bit, Snafu.
You live in
I live in.
So if you want me to answer your question, get rid of Denson.
Hold. I live on the northwest side of Spokane, Rocky. That's where I'm at.
Northwest. Oh,
yeah. It's a beautiful community. God has me so blessed where I'm at. It's a beautiful community in a beautiful town, in a beautiful country, in a beautiful world. It's gorgeous. It's God's kingdom we live in. And especially when we walk with love in the way. Sorry, Rocky, were you getting to something?
Oh no, my children live. I got 4 children who live in Spokane on the South Hill, but I live north of Spokane. So I would be.
Hey, I graduated up in Colville and lived in Northport. Very familiar with the small rural areas up in there. And Rocky, we should get together sometime. If you ever make it this way or an opportunity idea comes up, I can travel as well. So here,
I live in Ione.
I think I remember that. Isn't that's between Colville and Northport, is it not?
It's 50 miles from Colville, and it's 15 miles from the Canadian border. In Ponderosa County. We just had Downriver State weekend.
You'd forgive me for being rude. I have to be rude one way or another. I could either leave without saying I love you all, or I could be rude this way. I love you all. Have a great night. Thanks for letting me on your show, Jack.
Hey, thank you for joining, sincerely. I hope you had fun, and I hope you return as well. Blessings.
Thank you, sir. Blessings.
Hey, Rocky, You know, if you got family here in Spokane and they have interest in trying to help a guy who wants to change the world, send them my way. I'm trying to find a way. How do I get some attention here in Spokane? I think it's my most logical path to pursue, but it's all coming together. God is amazing. And when my life changes again, when more people are introduced, that's my purpose for the world. I want to help God's children be reunited with our Father, our Heavenly Father, through the love of God. It is inside of everyone.
Yeah.
By God's grace, we've forgotten how to love. Feels good to remember.
Meditate on things that are good, holy, and pure, and God's peace will be added unto you.
Those words, if you follow that thought pattern, it just makes absolute sense. When we spend time thinking about the good and the pure, guess what? We remember thoughts about the good and the pure. When we think about our misery and our hate, we carry around thoughts and memories of misery and hate.
Like I say, unforgiveness changes time and space. Because if you have negative energy in your mind that's unforgiving someone, now you're negatively taking time to do things in reality that change space and time itself. It's weird. It's like real energy. I believe in the frequencies and the energies that we have. I think that's everything. Everything.
It truly is. And that's the thing. The energies, they make the form and they are beyond the form. The energies of life, that is God. The energies of creation. We want to align ourselves with the highest energy, the highest vibrations, the highest thoughts we can think of and we can experience. Why? Because when we walk around feeling good, feeling whole, feeling fulfilled, we have a more generous and kind nature. The bitter ones feel like they have nothing to offer. So they create lives where they offer little, and that which they do offer is full of bitterness and resentment. But it doesn't have to be that way. People can transform immediately. And one of the wonderful things about love is when we lose sight of love, when we rediscover forgiveness, oh my God, forgiveness feels so good. It is so worthwhile just to set the battles aside.
The enemy doesn't want us to forgive people because it negatively ties you to other people.
Yep.
Creates resistance instead of unity. So
exactly.
Mathematically mapped in my head to make sense, at least.
There's a perfect, this is what, Isaac, this is what I realized too. Our God is so mysterious and complex, but there's a perfection to the order. There's a perfection that is easily identified mathematically through the power of word between thoughts and emotions. And then you bring thoughts and emotions together into the chemical reactions and the energetic reactions. There's a perfect order and symmetry.
Yes, I see that, and I studied it for a long time. And besides the magnet treatment, I was there. I was fully Christ conscious, almost too conscious, actually. It's kind of scary. And they hooked up the magnets to my brain and went away. It's how I know it's real. It's so real because it's missing now from me. And
Hey.
I don't have any emotion anymore. And I used to think emotions were superpowers like discernment. Like, okay, a child has emotions for a reason. They're feeling something. It's a tool that we were given to discern good from evil is emotion, is my understanding of it. But they tried to like demonize emotion and like say it's like low energy or like you're feeling things. You're not supposed to go by your feelings. But everything I had seemed to be intuitively, like magnetically, electrically, frequency in tune until they did it. So I could testify that it's real.
Hey, Isaac, sincerely, you and I, let's brainstorm some ideas. I have theories. It's your spirit. This is a spiritual test and a spiritual lesson for you. And some of my theories on consciousness is that is how God controls us through the blindness, right? And through what we remember, what we're allowed to remember. All things are allowed by God. All things come through God, for God, with God. Isaac, there's incredible opportunities for those divine feelings to be restored. I wanted you to at least know that you've had the taste and experience, and there's a reason for it. It could have to do with the previous way you achieved it. It's time for another path.
Sure. I
This
used
is,
mushrooms to get there.
I remember you saying that. And as I'm saying this, I'm confident because this is a life lesson I've learned. I don't have the option to give up, right? My life or the conditions, I don't have the option to give up. So I'm not going to disrespect myself with complaining and worrying anymore. Jesus is the truth, the light, and the way. But through God, there is always another way. The result is going to be the same, but there is always another way to learn what others have learned. There is always another way to do what others have done. There's always another way. Our minds, the limits on our cognition, right? The limits on our mind prevent us from seeing ways beyond what we can see. That is why we are divinely created to be honest reflections of each other, not bullshitting each other, not enabling each other, but really being honest with each other. If we start working together, small groups become bigger groups, branching off to other groups. We start working together to help each other improve ourselves for the others. Pretty sure that's what God wants us to do. It should not cost money to learn. The greed and the selfishness that God has allowed mankind to profit from and to fight to keep, this greed and selfishness, it's created innovations, right? The competitions has created product variety and all sorts of good things have come out of it. But we could have heaven on earth if people stop wanting hell. Hell comes from disagreements, unnecessary fights. Let's choose our battles. Let's surrender the battles and let's just love one another. Life is too short.
Yeah, I would be pretty like tripping out if I was like 70 years old and I had an awakening. I was like, oh my God, I've been an asshole my whole life. Like, I would not like that. I would be like, damn it. I could have fucking done something else.
I spent over 40 years. Being an asshole to myself, disrespecting me and the world I lived in. And I wasn't bad. I mean, I really cared. I cared about the environment. I cared about people who had it worse. I really cared, but man, I sold myself short. Why? For the security of a paycheck, for the imagined idea of a plan for retirement. Bullshit. I wasn't living. I was focused on surviving.
Yeah, there's not a lot of thriving going on. It's more surviving right now. But we have the ability to thrive, for sure.
It all changes with a change in mindset. And that is what I've been studying. God has blessed me with different ways and different ideas of how to change, to unify the mind and the heart together, to expand the spiritual experience. There's many. Oh, go ahead.
I say it's profound. It's like better than any high I've ever tasted. It's better than anything I've ever felt. It's better than money. It's better than mansion. And when they took it from me, I realized we have it because I had the magnet treatment. And it's like it was more valuable. Like if they gave me like 10 mil, I wouldn't be happy, but I wouldn't be as bored. but what's missing is still like, I mean, I think it could come back, but it's just like I want to say that it's real every time or something. I don't know because I've
You had
experienced. I
you
can't
had
stop talking about it.
you were given that testimony to share, to
That's
inspire others that, hey, there is divine experiences to be had. The more experiences and testimonies I allowed myself to discover, the more I found, the more my faith really grew, man. There is some divine beings, whether they're angelic, whether they're whatever, it's divine. There's divine experiences. And there's also the other side.
Yeah. And like when you're saying the unity of the heart and the mind is insanely real. I used to feel electric pulses in my heart, in my brain, and all this before that treatment. I would feel it like they were real. And I don't know what happened. Like now I feel like one of those old, like stone cold old men that just can't ever even open their mouth and like feel anything. It's weird.
Like I said, I've got some ideas. Have you heard of Wim Hof and his breathing techniques?
I've tried a few DMT breathing exercises. I don't know if that's similar.
He's got a real simple breathing technique that will change your perspective. It'll drastically bring your body into as he explains it, you become hyper oxygenated, but it silences the mind. Just this breathing technique, it'll silence the mind, bring a lot of oxygen into the body. And I've witnessed people, particularly with a guided meditation, as their mind becomes still and they unite with the heart. I've witnessed guys just go through miraculous transformations. I'm not saying it would be a solution for you, but the ideas of invigorating the body, bringing life back into your physical being, it may be a method to re-inspire what you were experiencing before. So
I haven't really tried that since then. You did it in the past before, so yeah, thank you for reminding me. Give it a go.
This is what I mean. There's anytime we have a problem, this is a perfect segue to the topic. Every time when we have problems in life, we can allow these problems and darkness to beat us up. Well, I can't do anything about it. Well, they said this is how it is, and it went that way for them. We lower our standards. We accept things that aren't necessarily real. And we can end our own suffering when we seek the answers, seek the solutions. There's a divine force that guides us, and the answers are provided to those who seek. I've found that for myself. Even when it seemed like there's no answer available, I'd discover someone else had experienced something similar enough. They knew all the steps to deal with. So we're all unique, but we're all from the same source and energy, the same patterns bring us forth. There was a comment it was a troll. Lou Bass, your focus on money, just like Polyboy, it's keeping you confused and limited. That was to Lou Bass. But really, the focus on money is a false idol. Hello, everyone's been participating in the banker's lie. It's a criminal Ponzi scheme. Why we haven't united to say, hey, enough is enough. I know people have, but let's do it too. Let's stand together in this new direction and say, hey, enough is enough. Snafu, can you get on board with that? A worldwide movement?
Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Like Venus support. Venus is throwing pedophile symbols in your chat, just so you know.
Your narrative says that.
So does the FBI universal pedophile symbol If you want to look what the FBI has released of what the universal symbol
I
is,
know.
which
I know.
she's mocking victims of pedophilia. So
No,
keep
well,
defending pedophiles,
no,
Jack, because your rape is going to be exposed by your own family member. Just
no,
interesting.
no. Here, people see what they want to see, Snafu. And this is the thing. Appearances are not always as you might first think. She's explained. I've explained. Your
I
patterns
don't
of
need to hear
refusing.
this. Venus is a, hey, honest, Jack, she's a crazy Karen like
We're
you,
not okay.
Karen.
So what? She's not here. Snaf. Oh, man, I invited him. Sorry. Go ahead.
His audio is just it needs to be fixed.
Yeah. Hey, you know what though? I just glanced at the time. I was deliberating at the 2 hour mark. We're at the 3 hour mark. I think that's a good segue. Any parting
Cheers.
word, please?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. That's all I got.
Thank you, brother. It's a pleasure having you. And please let's connect sometime. If
Yeah, I'll probably
if
go
we,
live in the next hour too.
all right.
See if
Beautiful.
anyone wants to chat. If not, I'll end it. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, brother. Thank you. Rocky? Or?
Okay, yeah. I would say that people need, if they want to influence people, they need to be not so obnoxious. And I see Snafu comes across kind of obnoxious. If he wants to, you catch more, like I said, you catch more flies with honey. If you want to promote Christianity, don't be such an asshole. I mean, and don't trust in man. Trump's not going to save you. Okay, later.
All right.
Thanks for having me, Jack. See you around.
Respect, brother. Thank you for joining. Thoughts, gentlemen? I'll let either way.
Well, in terms of I think maybe Denizen, he might be doing something, but I'll go first. But I think it's interesting. The title reflects a lot of the problems, finding the darkness and the light, and also what's hidden within the light. Sometimes I talk about mercurial hermeneutics, which is the Hermes, whole thing with Mercury hiding behind the sun. What's hidden in the light. As Christ says, he says that what's hidden in the light is that what's hidden in plain sight. When the light came into the darkness doesn't understand it. So it's really what it is that darkness is a part of light, right? But light does not share in what darkness basically represents. So it's under light understands darkness, but darkness cannot use light. And the whole thing about usefulness and understanding, and how organization works. I think that a lot of things are organized as to trick us. As I say, logic is one way of getting trapped in a loop. It's a loop because it's logic accepts tautologies, right? Tautologies are extremely logical. And then in terms of rhetoric, it can hide things within organization. So organization is of the devil. And sometimes we use technique and then we forget how we came to it. Technique is a way of forgetting things. And, as I say, that once you perfect a technique, it becomes second nature to you. And then that's the subtle danger of it, is that you could slip things in there, in terms of how technique frames things. Technique is organization, and the devil is in the details. So that's why I say, the machine lies. You know what I mean? But yeah, thank you guys so much for having us here.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, Dennison. It's always a pleasure talking to you, my friend. And yeah,
Yes,
talk to you again soon.
I love listening to TML talk about what he knows about, which is many things.
For sure, homie. Yeah, the feeling is mutual. Yeah, blessings, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother. Peace to you. Denizen, final words, brother?
A hefty day. I'm in a kind of a state of flux. I mean, I suppose we all are all the time, whether we realize it or not, but it seems that in my life, it's change and growth is somewhat cyclical and there's spurts. And I'm in an emotional spurt right now. I can feel it coming. It smells like rain in a good way, though. You know, it tastes good. Anyways, I'm curious about these relationships I see here on your panel. I don't know if you and or any of these characters would be interested in having a conversation in which nobody had the power. You know, somebody neutral party had the power instead of the two sides trying to end wars, right? So in the interest of your mission, maybe ending the wars between you and Paul, for example. And I apologize to Snafu for my, description of him earlier. Maybe even Snafu, has some value he could bring to the table. I'd like to just extend that offer out there. I think I have a reputation for being fair-minded. So I think even maybe if I had a conversation with Snafu and or Paul first, in order to get them some, buy-in, they'd be interested in not a debate, but a discussion.
Brother,
What
I'd
do you think?
welcome it.
Oh, cool.
I trust you. I agree. I think you've got the ability and the credibility to be pretty impartial and aware. I'd certainly be willing to entertain that. Now, getting them to cooperate, but if you can sell them on the benefits of having resolve and maybe moving past, they might be willing.
Yeah, I think it'd be obvious to both of them, right? They're not idiots, and I am open about how this is merely a matter of curiosity and personal growth for me. It's selfish, right? But my motives are there on the table. Take it or leave it, right?
Hey, what I see, it's an opportunity to explore your ability,
Exactly.
explore experience.
Exactly.
So, hey, I was just going to bring Snafu up. Maybe
sorry to everybody that it pisses off, but sometimes Jack and I understand each other. So I know that's a terrible, terrible thing because he's the biggest monster on YouTube, but
you know the danger.
Yeah. All right, bye. See you later.
Peace and thank you, Denizen. Brothers and sisters, sincerely, thank you for joining today. And if you tuned in after, the panels open up, regardless, I do encourage, go back and give me the opening. Give yourself an opportunity to see where this started. We had some conversations and I had fun today. I did have fun today. And brothers and sisters, sincerely, the best way to escape the darkness, the best way to find more light, more hope in your life is to become more light, more hope. The best way to have more light and more hope in your life is to have fun, to enjoy being you. Pretty sure that's what God wants you to do. So, brothers and sisters, when you fight the good fight of faith, challenging yourself, I can press into this. I got faith. I know enough. I don't have to know everything, right? Because the devil hides in the details, like TML pointed out. But when you fight the good fight of faith, it effectively dethrones darkness. Darkness becomes of no consequence to you. None. We all We all have work to do, brothers and sisters. There's darkness that's set upon this world and people in the world in the past and today. They've been lowering their standards. I raised mine. I raised my standards for myself. I'm trying to raise the standards of what I allowed to be offered to you, and I think together we are. I think the universe is bringing the right pieces together. There's some magical mysteries to life that I love. Brothers and sisters, today too, I was having fun. Escape with the light of Chats with Jack. I hope you received the light today from Chats with Jack. It's not really about me, though. We escape with the light. We escape the darkness with the light. If you don't know what is light, you don't know what is true. If you don't know what is true, you're in the darkness of confusion. Brothers and sisters, I think that is it. I want to thank you again sincerely, whatever platform, whatever time you catch this. Thank you. Know that I love you. Pretty sure God loves. You know what? I'm not pretty sure. God loves you because you're here with me, and I know that God loves us as one. United, we are one. There is only one. One true God, one true love, and it's all with you. Brothers and sisters, thank you again. Let's see what the future brings. Choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. Thank you again, and God bless us all. Peace.